What's going on, everybody? We have Yukon Ali and Alan for tonight's special podcast this Saturday. I hope everybody's doing good this evening. I love doing these special podcasts on Saturdays because I'm extremely unprepared, but we end up having an amazing time either way. So I hope everybody's doing good. How are you guys doing this evening?
We are doing good. It's Saturday. Cheers.
It is. Cheers
Yeah.
indeed. We got, let's see here. We got IB, we got Frank, we got John, we got Sergio. What's going on, everybody? It is good to see you guys this Saturday. Let's go ahead and start the podcast off with the most common question, if anybody could put it in the comments there, that we always ask. How the hell did you guys get into gold?
Well, everybody likes gold, right?
That is very true.
I met Alan and he was already a gold miner, and I thought, wow, that's kind of weird because my grandpa had been up in the Yukon in the 80s, prospecting and had a few claims and a lease. So I kind of grew up with it as well. And then I met him and he was doing it like as a career. And I thought, wow, that's kind of neat, but I don't know if I could be, out in the middle of nowhere for 6 months at a time. I'm a social butterfly. I thought, oh, I'll go nuts. So I told him, I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it for like 3-4 years. And then let's have an exit plan and do something better. And he's like, yeah, okay. So literally within 2 months, I said, I'm never doing anything ever again. It just captured me, and I'm hooked. I can't do anything else.
That is absolutely awesome. So, since Alan is in the building, Mr. Allen,
Yeah.
how the hell did you get into gold, brother man?
I think I got it all the bug when I was a little kid, reading about the gold rush and stuff. And I talked my mom into buying me my first gold pan when I was 10 years old. And we lived in a heavily wooded area with ravines and creeks. And I prospected all over these creeks when I was a little kid, panning away. I never ever found any. There was no gold there, but I had the bug. And then I heard about a guy that was retiring and had a mine for sale in the Yukon. And at the time, I was building houses and had an excavating company. And there's an old saying that if you live in Canada, you're a millionaire one year and bankrupt the next. And the economy here it's always a roller coaster. So just as you start to really do good, the bottom will follow the market, the price of oil or whatever it is, commodities. And one weekend you're building houses and you don't have enough people, and then the next weekend you couldn't give away a house. And so I thought, okay, well, I always wanted to go gold mining, so I pulled the trigger and went gold mining.
Wow.
The rest is history.
That is absolutely, well, we have to back up a little bit because I'm sure the viewers, I'm sure they want to know, at that point in time, for you specifically, Ali, when you realized that he owned a gold mine and he was doing his thing and such, at that point in time, how did you go about, I guess, knowing that you're going to be going up there for 6 months and being up there and operating equipment and such? Did you have any kind of operating, heavy equipment operating background before this, or was it something that you just jumped into and said, okay, I'm going to do it and go from there?
No, I grew up on a farm, so I've been operating equipment since I could walk, right? You're always doing something, combines, you're running all you have to on a farm. It's a family farm, so I was kind of born into it, you could say. I'd never operated bulldozers or excavators per se, but if you just kind of, you either love it or you hate it, and I love it. So yeah,
right.
Alan taught me how to operate equipment, and I just fell in love, and that's, yeah.
Well, the awesome thing is I can now bounce off of both of you for these questions, so I hope you guys are ready for these bad boys. Right. So with her coming into the gold mine, and operating the heavy equipment, Alan, how did you feel putting her into a D10 or putting her into other equipment? Was it kind of were you a little scared at first? How were you feeling? Getting her to learn the equipment that you guys have over there.
Um, it started unintentionally originally because when she came up in 2010, she'd ride in the cat with me. I had a D11R at the time, and she'd ride sitting right beside me like she is now. And I think, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think that she got to feel the machine from riding in it. You get to understand what it sounds like and what it feels like, and you get to see firsthand what it does and how it works. And if I'd had to run to make a phone call for a half an hour or something, I would just get her to rip. Because
Wow.
ripping's really easy, it's like plowing, you back up, drop the ripper, grab a head kind of thing, right?
Right.
So she started off filling in for me here and there, and then using the blade is much more difficult. And those big dozers, you have to do it all by feel because the blade's massive. Right? The blade's almost 10 feet high and 20 feet wide. So
Yeah.
you literally have a wall in front of you that's bigger than the wall of your house. So you see nothing.
Right.
You have to do it all by feel. And then after a while, she started pushing stuff around, and she just took right to it. Within a couple of weeks, she was gone.
Wow, and that goes back to what you said, Ali, was, you got to either love it or hate it, and it's one of those things where, you took initiative and you absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it. You got in there and you took it, took charge and you got shit done, and that's absolutely awesome. Alan, I had a good question for you. To rewind just a skosh here. So when you jumped, onto this mine, you decided, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to see what happens. What kind of were the thoughts that were going through your mind? Was it, hey, I'm just going to go full board and see what happens? Was it, well, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to bring my equipment up there. What were kind of the thoughts, you were having first getting into it and first bringing equipment up there and whatnot?
Alan is one of those guys that is all or nothing. There is no halfway. There's no,
no half-assing it.
No, he's like, we're doing it or we're not. And he
Yeah.
pulls the plug, and it's like, you better get on the train or you're going to get run over. Like, that's what it is.
Well, and that's the type of mindset you have to have with something so massive and such a big investment. You can only be oh so confident. You know what I mean? You can only be oh so confident. And I think with him making that purchase and saying, you know what, I'm doing it full board, it takes guts to do that. Not anybody can just do that, because a lot of people, and I'm not going to say specifics or anything like that, but a lot of people would say, well, you know what, I'm comfortable what I'm doing, and they just live their life like that. They never pull the trigger.
Yeah.
What could have been, what should have been, they just never do it. So,
Safety's a big thing.
Yeah. So, so you pulled the trigger, you got your equipment up there. Had you known anything as far as gold mining, cleanup, what kind of process or anything like that when you got up there? Or was it, hey, I'm bringing my equipment up there and, I'm going to try to learn as I go kind of thing?
No. There was a mine that I knew a relative of this guy wanted to retire, and he'd been mining for 40 years and prospecting and all over North America, to Mexico, etc. And so he stayed with me for the first year and taught me how to prospect, etc. And he learned from the stampeders that went across in the gold rush in 1898. So that's where I learned all my prospecting and stuff from. It goes back like 100 years. So I walked up and down the creek. He showed me everything. We'd sit around at night. He'd tell me stuff for hours and hours and hours, and I just absorbed it all like a sponge.
That's awesome. Soaked it up. And that's, it's crazy because, you and Ali, it's just a phenomenal duo with you guys and what you guys do up there. Honestly, I mean, with you putting her into a D10 or any other bigger equipment you got, and saying, hey, I got to go run an errand real quick, do this. And she, she excels at it. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal, So with the whole situation at hand with you saying, you know what, I'm going to do it, and then Ali coming along and saying, you know what, let me do this, let me do that, and here you guys are now. I'm sure you guys have had hard years, just like any other gold mining operation. I mean, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you guys persevered.
Yes,
and
that's our motto.
And that's the amazing thing about it, is it takes people like you two to actually keep this legend alive, to be able to keep this. You see the TV shows, and people are always seeing the TV shows, but what they don't see is the shit going on behind the curtain.
That's right.
Equipment costs, employees, bad seasons, where somehow you got to pull money out your ass to cover this, and this.
Oh yeah.
They don't see that. So, yeah, it's insanely crazy. So I wanted to jump on the topic because I know that it is I wouldn't say sore subject for you guys, but I saw some emotion coming out of it. Employees, how hard is it to get some damn trustworthy employees up to the Yukon to spend that amount of time up there?
Let me put it this way. Alan and I was just Alan and I for the first 4 years. We've only had employees. It was just him and myself, because we couldn't afford for somebody to break something.
Right.
And we also, what if we had a bad year and we couldn't pay them? Like that was my worst fear. So I said, let's do what we can do on our own until we can.
So my next question would be, how did Alan feel? Because I know one of you guys broke something in those 4 years. I know someone broke something in those 4 years, so let's kind of talk about that a little bit.
Oh, do we go there?
Alan's like, really, man? Come on. Come on, dude.
Have I broke anything?
No, you like to flip the dump truck upside.
Oh yeah, I flipped the dump truck a couple times, but that's pretty minor.
That's no big deal. Yeah,
no, that's no big deal. You just flip it back on its wheels and off you go again. But Alan, first 2 weeks on our worst year ever together. The first 2 weeks, he put a tree through the radiator of the 10.
How the hell did he manage that? That's the question.
The tree's so thick that you can't walk through it, right?
Right.
And there's a trick to it, because there again, you can't see what's in front of you. Because your hood and everything is so big. So you knock the trees down, then you back up and get them by the roots, and you try to get a wall of roots and trees in front of you when you head into the rest of the bush, so that they don't, we call it jill poking, where they come through like a spear and then you don't see them. And I did that, and still one little tree managed to wiggle its way through the guard on the blade, through the grill of the cat, through past the fan, through the radiator, past the alternator, down past the starter, underneath the transmission, and out through a crack between the belly pans and down into the ground. And I never did see it.
Oh yeah.
The low coolant light came on, and I went, "What?"
Yeah.
And I got out and I looked, and I was just it was the first 10 minutes on that site, and I hadn't even warmed the engine up in the morning. I was just popping back and forth, warming the machine up, and I got out and I looked, and I couldn't see anything. And then I jumped. I put my boots back on. I jumped out and looked. There's coolant just pouring all over the place, and that's when I saw the tree through the rad. And it's a $50,000 radiator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, that's a bad day.
That was a bad day. There were some tears.
That's it's kind of like, how the hell do we bounce back from this situation? I mean, getting it back. Yeah.
Like Alan says, you have to do everything right. And we thought, what are we going to do? We can't afford a new radiator. It's spring. Any miner who tells you they have money in the spring is a friggin' liar, because you have to get you have to get through the winter, right, without mining. But anyways, we figured out like that it was a special radiator. We could just plug off a couple of the coils, and he MacGyvered it, and it's ran perfect since. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. So it's one of those things where it kind of sets you back to a point where you're like, okay, well, now we got to go back to the drawing board and kind of figure out what we're going to do, especially in springtime. You're just starting out your season. That's extremely tough to try to figure out, and if it's just you two, you don't have a crew and separate mechanics and stuff like that, then I can only imagine. That'd have been a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, there was a few.
Yeah, a lot of sleepless nights, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So once you guys kind of bounced back from it, you got it figured out. Was it the same season that you guys were able to jump back on it, or did that destroy your guys' season for that year?
Oh no, he had it fixed. Like honestly,
fixed the next day.
The next day.
Wow.
So, yeah. He's really
awesome.
good. He's had years of experience, right? Because you can't just call up a mechanic. First of all, what do they charge us? $2,000 a day if they have to come out like to our site.
And that's a crazy area, out in the Yukon. That's I can't say it with enough emphasis. That's an extremely tough place to try to have things fixed on a timely manner.
Yeah.
But so you guys got it fixed. Were you guys able to salvage your season and come out profitable and be able to, look forward?
Oh, that was our worst year ever. Like honestly, it started and went downhill from there. Like it was like the worst, saddest country song you have ever heard was that year. He started out doing that, then he broke both his thumbs. A tire blew up on his hands. And then, so he couldn't, barely operate anything. I'm running the equipment. And then what else happened? Then we had a forest fire. We had to
before we get all that other juicy stuff, I heard 2 broken thumbs. Yeah. And let's kind of touch on that for 2 seconds. Because anybody else that's watching right now would be like, wait, hold on, Ali, you're giving way too much juicy, amazing, awesome stuff to talk about before we get back to the 2 broken thumbs here.
Yeah.
So he was replacing a tire on what kind of
a hand cart, a hand cart, one of those stupid wheels, and he put too much air in, and all I hear is this fucking screaming and like just pop, and I'm like, oh Christ. What happened? His thumb, he comes over, his thumbs are bleeding. I'm like, oh shit. We're 3 hours from the hospital. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot how much air that compressor puts out, a ton of air. And it's just a little wee tire. It's only like 8 inches in diameter. Right?
Uh-huh.
And I was in a pissy mood because every time I went to that stupid cart, the goddamn tire was full. And I'll fix you Baxter, and I let it have it. And the wheel split right in half.
Hey, that's what happens when you get so irritated at something so small. It goes back to the lion and the thorn in the paw. It's like it takes something so minuscule to put you out, and blowing 2 thumbs off your almost off your hands. That's
the wheel comes straight out, got me right on the ends of both thumbs, so it drove the nails back into my hands, and then broke the left thumb in 7 places and the right thumb in 2 places. So.
Was that after you split your elbow open?
Oh yeah, because when I was fixing the radiator in the cab,
same year,
I fell off the blade and there's a chunk of steel sticking out on the back of the blade, and as I was falling, I caught my elbow on it and smashed it, and I went down and asked Allison.
I'm running the excavator, and he hops up on the running board. He's like, I think I need a Band-Aid. And I'm like, why? What the hell did you do? And he pulls up his shirt and shows me his elbow. There's like a tendon hanging out. I'm throwing up in the excavator. A fucking Band-Aid. You need a doctor.
Dude, you need a fucking doctor.
She's just retching.
Holy fuck.
There's a nerve sticking out.
It was so gross.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's like, hey, honey, I need a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Exactly.
Holy
by the
shit.
way, because that nerve grossed her off so much, it was hanging out about 3/4 of an inch. I took a pair of scissors and I snipped it off. Don't ever do that.
Oh, why'd you say
that?
Oh.
Right?
Oh my God.
And he did it in front of me. So here comes round 2 of throwing up. I'm like, what is wrong?
I was surprised you didn't puke on the tendon.
It was just nasty.
Holy shit.
Ah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And mind you, everybody that's watching, that's them in the Yukon by themselves at the time. That's not with anybody else around. That's, he's coming up to her saying, "Hey, babe, I need a Band-Aid," out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's just, yeah. That was
Holy
the start
shit.
of the year. That was the start.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is something else. I mean, I can tell you this here and foremost that you got balls of steel. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what if I had something sticking out of my fucking elbow
Right?
that happened to be a fucking tendon out in
Right?
the middle of nowhere. I wouldn't go and tell my woman, "Hey, I need a Band-Aid." I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd be freaking the hell out, So yeah, Alan, I give you the balls of steel trophy here. There you go, bud.
Oh, tell you.
That's
Just
wow.
nuts. Yeah.
Wow. So, after your insane injuries out there, you got everything patched up, you got everything taken care of. You got to a point where you guys were ready to start tearing up the ground. How did your guys' season go that year? I know
That was the
like
worst.
That was the worst ever.
was it?
Yeah.
So going into wintertime, you guys had a bad season. And of course, like we were talking earlier, to operate specific equipment, it's extremely expensive up there. It's not just a walk in the park. Going into wintertime, what were your guys' plans as far as your guys' next season?
Moving the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Moving there?
Moving
out of
out.
there. Moving away from that spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so, once you guys decided to move on out of there during wintertime and you guys created a new game plan for next season, once that next season hit, I'm sure you guys were pretty ecstatic to get out there and hit some new ground. Did that next season happen to turn the game, turn the ball around and get you guys going?
It was a lot better.
Yeah.
So
And
it was
we hired employees that year.
Yeah, in the second half.
Yeah.
Second half.
We had two employees and a cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys had struck good and well enough to be able to get employees out there, right?
No, well, it wasn't that. We knew because we went back. This was on the same creek. So we had moved down below, and that's where it was terrible.
15 miles.
Oh.
Right? So then we went back up to where we knew there was gold. It was spotty. The old timers had been all through there too.
Picked it, yeah.
At that point, we'd been adding a piece of equipment every year. So all of a sudden, we have a bulldozer, a dump truck, 2 excavators. Well, there's only 2 of us.
Right. You need more operators.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
When you say move, it's not like moving across San Francisco or something.
Yeah.
It's
right.
in the spring there, it's breakup. So anywhere you take a machine, you sink it to the top of the track. So there was an old cat trail that we had to fix to turn it into a road that we could move over, and then fuel trucks could navigate, et cetera, et cetera. Had really, really steep grades on it.
Yeah.
It had miles of I don't even call it it's muskeg,
Yeah, swamps.
Just swamps with puddles of water in it 2 feet deep. So you have to go with the chainsaw and cut all the trees off that are sticking out from every direction. Then go down with the excavator and get care of the rest of the trees. Then you get in there with that and the dump trucks and hauling. Some of this place where we had to put bedrock, a meter, 2 meters deep for hundreds of feet in order to get the road to hold. So you don't just move.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like
completely rebuild miles of road.
Right. It's not like the show. It's not like the gold shows where they stick it on a flatty. They stick it on a flatty and fucking there they go. No.
Yeah.
Widen all the corners out so you can get around with long trailers, and then you have to build your campsite. You have to do everything: water systems, sewer systems,
internet,
wire the camp, and put up all the satellite dishes, and on and on. It's not a 5-minute move.
Right.
So you say, "Oh, move everything." Well, it's
It's a nightmare, and I'm sure
Yeah.
the expense itself, plays in part with your season's total, because you're cutting a decent amount of a chunk just to get over to that next spot.
You're exactly right.
Well, you lose double because every hour that you're putting into repairing, fixing, moving, setting up camp is an hour that you're not moving dirt. Or a
Right.
day that you're not moving dirt.
And
So
with us, it comes down to yardage.
yeah,
Right.
the more yards are moved, the more gold you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's insane. So for that year, you guys decided you're moving. And clearly you guys obviously up in the Yukon, you got to kind of wait, kind of pre-spring. That way you don't hit permafrost and deal with all that shit. So in springtime, you guys basically, you already had a game plan. You guys were moving to the next site. You put out the operations for, getting everything moved over there and whatnot. So when you guys decided the second half of your guys' season to hire employees, how did that go, and how did you guys kind of go about doing that to try to find proper equipment operators to be able to not only trust, but to be able to move the dirt that you guys needed to move to be able to cover the cost for moving the equipment and all that?
you don't. We hired my nephew, and he was like 21 then.
Yeah.
So he didn't know anything, but he could be taught. You know what I mean?
Did he have that kind of mentality that you had when you first got into it, was like, hey, I enjoy this, I'm going to excel at it? Because you, as you guys obviously know, you go through life and you meet specific people and certain people that excel at what they enjoy.
Yeah.
Instead of excelling at what they have to do to pay their bills, they excel at what they enjoy. And, was that, as far as he goes, does he have that kind of mentality, and is that why you hired him? Or
Well, when they were teenagers, him and one of his friends, we brought him up and we taught him how to run excavators and dump trucks for a couple months. So it wasn't like he'd never been on one before.
Yeah.
And he loved those big dump trucks. He just loves them. So, he'd already had the basics, so it wasn't that hard to teach him. More than a few hours to teach him how to drive it.
And he's a really good dump truck driver.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, that's his deal. Everybody has things that they're good at, and he's just a natural on a dump truck.
Yeah. And he loved it.
So it was a no-brainer to get him on board and get him employed and get him working on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And another guy, we somebody that was a friend of one of our family members, so we had a pretty good idea what he could and couldn't do.
Yeah, and he was really good to have around, like super good personality, and that's all. Another thing you need, because you're in the middle of nowhere with very few people.
And you have to live with them.
You have to live with them.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
And that's another question that I wanted to bring up. For your guys' second half of that season, obviously you got to figure out living conditions and living accommodations for those extra people that are going to be up there for that amount of time. Once you guys figured out the living accommodations for them, I'm sure for both of you, it probably would have been, kind of hard for the first, couple of months trying to figure out the grooves and how they work and, what they need and what they don't need and so on and so forth. But my main question is, how did it work out for you guys for that second half? Once you guys, got them in there and started operating equipment, was it a struggle, or was it something that just, kind of like blocks in place?
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was pretty good till that pipe fell in my hand.
Oh yeah, the next year he broke his hand.
So,
he had a cast. Oh my God. Yeah.
So I tried to suffer through it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need a doctor. 2 weeks later, his thumb is like the size of a football. And he's like, I think, shit. Or was it your thumb?
No, fingers.
He's like, I think I might need to go to a doctor. No shit, Sherlock. Like,
your finger, mind you, was probably like this.
Yeah.
So it was broken.
Hey babe, I kind of might need it's about time, Alan. It's about time to get to a damn doctor, dude.
So they rushed me into surgery. They sent me down to Whitehorse. I had to go into surgery, and they had to re-break it and
Holy shit.
Then they taped this massive crowbar under
He had
my
a
right
cast
arm,
up to his elbow. So
so
once again, he
only
can't
one-handed.
operate equipment.
So I was going to say, yeah, so back to that. So, you know, you guys got the living situations with, you know, your family in place, / employees that were getting that operating situation going. But so your next season, you ended up breaking your hand, quote unquote, essentially because you couldn't use it.
Yeah.
So what the hell was that in the beginning of your guys' season? Was that midway? Was that
August,
3/4?
It's August.
Late July,
We had
early
just
August.
gotten our new sluice plant and we were putting it together and yeah, a pipe fell on his hand and
Holy shit.
So then I operated machines anyway. It wasn't easy because you had this huge chunk of aluminum from your elbow to all around your hand.
he was stacked more than he was operating.
Yeah,
Like,
so
Holy shit.
how many times did I pull you out with the 10? Like he had the 10 stuck.
Yeah,
I swear to God, every day. Off I go with the excavator to pull him out of another mud pit because he can't use one frickin' hand.
Alan, what the hell did you do this time? Come pull me out and don't ask.
Yeah, all you just see him walking over the hillside, all dejected. I'm like, fuck. Off I go with the excavator. I just know you don't even have to say anything anymore. He's just walking. I'm like, ah, shit.
We got a comment that says he needs bubble wrap. Yes, he
No
freaking
kidding.
does. Holy
He
shit.
does.
He needs a big thing of bubble wrap. All right, so with that season, so again, you get your hand figured out, you get it situated. How did that specific season go? Were you guys pretty profitable, or you guys hit borderline? You guys, you know,
did okay.
It was okay. And then we moved again, but we actually moved creeks this year. So
and so
that's
how many years into with you being on board, with obviously your family being on board, how many years was that to where, you know, the season he broke his hand, you know, what year, you know, was that into everything going on?
Fourth.
no 5th, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh, yeah.
Like last year when he broke
Last
his
year,
hand
but
the
no,
last time. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
5.
Year 5. Year
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
So hopefully now you don't have anything broken and you guys are ready to hit the ground running, right?
Well, he didn't break anything
No,
this
I
year.
behaved
So
this
this year was good.
That's good. I think you need to have some type of special cam just on him specifically when he's fixing things
Right? I know.
to make sure if anything happens, you get his ass in that vehicle and you get to the hospital to get it fixed because he needs to be back on the equipment the next day.
That's right. Exactly. Oh, I know. No, now I send Thomas with him. I just go
Yeah.
make sure he doesn't break anything.
Right. No, and that's a good idea.
Yeah.
He needs his own personal person to make
Yeah, he
sure he
does.
doesn't bust or break anything. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure. So my next question, it'll jump into a bit of a different topic here. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. So you guys have been operating for quite some time. You know, you've had your ups, you guys have had your downs, your left, right. You know, you guys have been up and down. And you know, typically, like I said earlier, you know, on the television screen and the cameras, you just don't see the reality and the true things that are going on with operating a gold mine. You know, you don't see the years where they don't profit. You don't see the years where they got to take out a loan or do this or do that. But on a positive note in this topic, what has been your guys' best cleanup?
Our best cleanup was 50 ounces. Yeah.
50 ounces.
Yeah.
And I bet you guys were both doing the jig.
We call
You
it the
guys are-
rubber boot happy dance.
Everybody has it, and I know
Yeah.
you guys had one, so
Yeah.
I had to get it out of
We
you.
definitely, it's the rubber boot happy dance, I tell you.
Rubber boot happy dance. So, you know, that's an insane insane cleanup with all the guys. Like I was talking to you guys earlier before the podcast. You have your amazing weekend warriors, your dredgers, your hard rock miners. You have so many folks that have that passion, like you guys do with what we do, right?
Yeah.
But you hear of guys, ending their season depending on what they do and how much they go out. But you see these cleanups and you're like, wow, that's awesome. And then I have the privilege to speak to you guys, and you guys say, well, our best cleanup was over 50 ounces. That's just absolutely mind blowing. To me, it's mind blowing. It's like, holy shit.
It is, but that's another thing you don't see on TV either, right? Like gold, you don't get the price of gold, the spot price gold for your gold.
Yeah.
It's the purity and what maybe your leasing ground. So you owe royalties, and then you have melt
Right.
losses, and you have this and that. So it's not just, oh shit, they got 50 ounces at $2,200 an ounce. No, that's not the reality. Like,
Right.
So I mean, is it great? Yes, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many aspects that play into it, like you just said. And, the TV shows, I know for a fact, speaking to a friend of mine, that a lot of the times they inflate the prices, they inflate this, they inflate that for viewers. And, for TV shows, that's perfectly fine. But in the real world, like you just said, you have smelt price, you have the purity rating of your gold, you have so many different aspects that play into the final price and what you guys actually get to take home to put back into your next season and the following, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And, it's a crazy thing because what you see on TV and actual miners such as yourselves that have been busting your ass for as many years as you have been and going through the obstacles and the freaking ups and downs and the bullshit you got to deal with, you guys still persevere and you guys still do it. You know what I mean? 90% of the folks who try to do what you guys are doing just end up going broke so quickly. So for you guys to continue to do what you do, I honestly give you the biggest props you guys can possibly get, because you guys are living the freaking dream.
Oh,
you guys are living the dream.
Well, some days it's a nightmare, but
look at it this way, though. You do not have to pay anybody above you.
That's right. And that's
you are your own bosses, and that's what makes what you guys do so absolutely phenomenal. You live in a place that could be extremely treacherous and crazy, yet so gorgeous and beautiful.
Yeah.
You guys are able to do what you guys do on your guys' time, and you guys are able to live out there for so long, for such extensive periods, to make your season profitable or non-profitable. So, I mean, that's absolutely amazing. My hat is off to you guys for what you guys do. It's a phenomenal thing. But, I do have more questions.
Go for it.
So I hope you guys are ready for it. On that same topic, with doing what you guys do every single season, unfortunately, it is the Yukon.
Yeah.
And as everybody knows, a lot of folks know the type of weather that the Yukon can release, and play in part with you guys being out there. So tying into that, what are some of the challenges you guys face mining in the Yukon? To briefly, because I know you guys can sit here and give me a list, a list this freaking big. I know it.
Yeah. I'll let Alan answer that. I'm going to go get another beer.
You got it. Go for it. So what are some of the bigger challenges that you guys face being over there and working for as long as you guys do?
Permafrost. And I don't think most people understand what permafrost means. It's an abbreviation for permanently frozen. It's been frozen solid for 300,000 years. And it's not the surface. Permafrost goes 150 to 300 feet deep. So there's no getting under it.
Right.
And when you get up there in the spring, then your winter frost goes 12 to 14 feet down, and it's really, really, really hard. it makes concrete seem soft. So when you get there in the spring, everything's frozen absolutely solid. And
Right.
and it is all year round. The permafrost is frozen, but you can thaw areas. Once you remove the muck off the top, then the gravel will thaw, and gravelly worked areas will thaw in the summertime. But if you go up there and you think you're going to do testing, you can't even go pen. Everything's frozen absolutely solid. Like, if you have a pile of gravel, it may look like you have piles of gravel all over the place, but 2 inches in, they're frozen absolutely solid. Like if you hit them with a pick, the pick will bounce off and hit you in the face. It's frozen solid. So you have to do your prospecting, in late summer, early fall.
Late time of your guys' season.
Yes, you have to do all that ahead of time, like the year before.
Yeah.
Everything's frozen. Then, like the black muck, when it thaws, it turns into something that's about the consistency of fresh cow shit. So, so you have to move it while it's frozen, or you have to wait till it dries, because if it thaws on you, everything sinks out of sight in it.
Yeah.
You have other material. You have some glacial till. This year we had glacial till that went over the one valley. It was covered in it, like 8-10 feet deep.
Holy shit!
And when the spring thaw come, you could barely walk on it. It was like walking on a giant sponge. And you take a machine out there, and we have the widest, longest tracks money can buy. And the excavators will just sink right out of sight.
Just going right in there.
Up to the cab without even working. That's just trying to walk across it. So
I bet when that shit happens, you kind of get a moment where you're like, oh shit, here we go.
That's exactly what happened.
And then Allie's coming with a cable to pull your ass out, right?
Yeah, there's no pulling things out of the cable. They don't make cables big enough.
Use equipment.
You just gotta grab it and yard on it.
Yeah. That's our favorite saying. Just fucking yard on it.
Yard on it. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And when you guys are out there testing and whatnot late in the season, the one thing that I did want to mention real quick was when you see on the shows with the permafrost, the funny thing is, and I have to bring this up because a lot of folks just don't understand and know this, is when they bring that scraper out there, or I don't remember exactly what the equipment's called, but they put that piece of equipment down there that breaks the permafrost up, and then they just start digging in the ground like it's perfectly okay. I mean,
what?
The I don't know what it's called.
You can rip it up with a ripper on the back.
Ripper, excuse me. Ripper,
Once so it's all ripped up, but
then you can push it.
So where the Gold Hills work, there's very little permafrost where they work. They work in an area where it's all swampy ground and it's mostly thawed.
So when you're in that permafrost area with the ripper, you only get about 3 feet down, 4 feet at most if you're lucky.
If you have a really big cat, the DA will only rip maybe 6 inches deep.
Wow!
If you're going to go down 3 feet, you can't even do that on a first rip of the D11. You have to cross rip. They rip in a diamond pattern, and then on your second, third rip, you can get down 3 feet. But initially, you're really lucky if you can get down 1.5 feet.
And is that during preseason or is that during the season?
Year.
Oh, that's all year.
Year.
That's all year.
Wow!
It doesn't thaw.
Like he was saying earlier, the permafrost has been there for over however many years, and it's going to continue to be obviously the exact same. My biggest thing with bringing up the topic was when you see it on TV versus when you hear about it in actual reality. It's like, how deep can you really get with a ripper, and how much material can you honestly move with a lot of time? Well,
with a D10, you rip for 8 hours a day to push for 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is your question.
Wow.
So it takes 8 hours to rip up enough material to keep you pushing for 4 hours.
And you'll get on about what? 6-8 feet after that.
In a day?
Yeah.
In a small area,
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a D10 will only take off maybe 2 feet per rip because the ripper may be going down way deeper than that, but you end up with all the areas in between that you ripped that aren't broken up enough. So
Right.
when you blade it off, you've actually only really gone down about 18 inches.
Wow.
You know, you think you're going down deeper, but if you measured it, you're not. So, you know, if you're doing an area, say 200 feet by 100 feet, then it'll take you 2-3 hours to rip it, and then an hour to push it off, and then you do it again and again and again and again and work.
Holy shit.
So-
And in that time, you know, with the fuel costs, I'd imagine it better be worth it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And here's the other problem. These creeks we've been on have been extensively worked by old timers. And half the time, you can't tell till you're down to the pay.
Right.
That's when you see the tunnels, the frozen tunnels, and the, you know, the pits. And it's like, oh, shit.
And so is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, it's both.
It's both, because the old timers were there. You know
Oh.
that there was gold there. Then it's just a matter of how much they left behind.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can test in some places and the ground will be really good. And you go 10 feet and they've cleaned it right out.
Yeah.
Holy
And they may
shit.
have cleaned it out for 5 or 6 cleans before you get into anything worth talking about.
Right.
Or you may test and it seems like there's nothing there, and you mine there's lots of gold because they just cleaned out the one area that you tested. So you can test till you're blue in the face, and you don't really know how much gold you're going to get until you sluice it and weigh it.
That's it. You know, it's that saying, gold is where you find it. And that's
Yep.
you can test all you want, but gold is where you
Yeah.
find it.
I call it,
Yep.
you know, you take your chances.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like a gambling aspect, you know.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
kind of
It's total gambling.
you know,
It's calculated gambling, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gambling.
but it's
You know,
gambling, you know.
yeah.
You're and that's why I give you guys that that freaking honor of balls of steel, because that, you know, aside from all the other shit you guys got to do, at the end of the day, you guys are gambling on a spot to
Yeah.
put this heavy equipment on and to rip the ground up and actually put it through the sluice and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's balls of steel right there. I mean, you know, so many folks just won't take that chance.
well, you can't
And-
blame them.
No.
And you can't blame them. But at the same time, you guys wouldn't trade what you do for anything in this world.
No.
For what you guys do,
I think you have to have a little bit of that gambler / positive thinking thing going for you, because you pays your money and takes your chances. And you gold mining has the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Yeah.
When you stripped a massive area, you
Yeah.
spent 2 or 3 months prepping a piece of ground
yeah.
and start sluicing it and there's no gold in it, you ought to
You
You
want to
feel-
fall on the
Yeah.
sword.
that's a bad day.
It's so depressing.
And you know, it's not like where you live that you can keep on working and recover from it.
Right.
We have 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you screw up for 3, now you've got 3 months to make enough money to make your payments through the winter, right?
So now you're
And
working
so-
the equipment 24 hours a day to get the shit done.
Now you're on just survival
And
mode.
then you're
Lord,
focusing
yeah.
on plan B. Okay, do I
Yeah.
need to refinance this winter? Like, what am I going to do? Like,
You have so many things going on when the season is still mid-season. You still have so many other things going on that you got to plan for, not only the rest of this season, but also next season, and the, you know, so on and so forth.
yeah.
That's absolutely insane. And like I said, I give you guys the biggest props for what you guys do, because a lot of us folks, including myself, we look up to people like you who are absolutely amazing people. And the funny thing is, on a lot of the different podcasts that I've done so far, every single person that I've came in contact with and became friends with and talked to, they have that. The thing about the community is they have that same spirit, that same attitude, you know, where it's let's persevere, let's make it happen, let's do this. It's not, well, I'm putting some money in and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? It's not like that. You know, they're like, I'm gonna persevere, I'm gonna make it happen, and it's gonna happen, you know. And
Yeah.
So
And
I have a
that's-
question for you though. Is
Uh-oh.
it perseverance or is it stubbornness?
stubbornness. But I like to shape it into
stubborn to
Yeah.
quit.
I like to shape it into perseverance for everybody.
That's
but
right.
yes,
Yeah.
it's stubbornness. You know,
Yeah.
you're too damn stubborn to quit.
Yeah.
Just absolutely not going to go home with your tail between the legs.
Yeah.
No, I failed. Those
Yep.
Yeah.
those words are just not ever
Yeah.
going to come out of your mouth, so you just
Yep.
suck it up and get on with it.
Yeah.
And that's funny you say that, you know, because that's all the community, all the guys that I've went and high banked with, all the guys that I've went and camped with. I mean, we'll go out there and we'll get our asses whooped. It's like working for fucking free.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get our ass whooped. We ain't bringing shit home, and we'll come home and we'll say, "Damn, that sucked." But I tell you what, it was fun as shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it next weekend. So that we play it next weekend to do the same fucking thing.
Oh, it's
You know.
Well, that's the thing, though. You never know.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
know?
that's the allure of it. You know, it's like, you know, you go out there, you get your ass whooped, you don't bring anything home, and then that next weekend you're like, all right, well, I'll bust my ass and we'll see what happens. And then bam, you strike something. You're like, holy shit, okay, let's do it next weekend. And you know, and you just keep, you know, you keep that perseverance on. And I mean, even all the little guys from Weekend Warriors up to what you guys do, it's that same feeling. It's the same
mindset.
Yeah. It's
For
the same
sure.
stubbornness. I
Yeah.
gotta now that he said that, now I gotta just say stubbornness.
Yeah.
Fuck perseverance.
Well, but there has been some highs way back when, a long time ago. I hit a hot spot and I got 50 ounces an hour, and I jumped out on the sluice runs to check something. I went to grease a bearing or something. I look and there's just gold everywhere. It was a big plant, a huge sluice runs. It was just absolutely buried in gold.
Holy shit.
And for some time there, I got 50 ounces an hour.
Holy
clean the
shit.
box 3 times a day.
Not with
Now
me,
you're
but-
talking highs, man. I was
like
jumping 8 feet in the air and throwing stuff and screaming.
Hey babe, do we need new furniture this year? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That wall needs a painting. We need to go get a painting, man.
Oh yeah, so then you think you know everything, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're
yeah.
the golden boy. You can't do anything
Yep.
wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't last for too long.
That's the thing though, is you know, everybody that's in the community that we're in, whether you know, from beginner to pro, you know, we always ride that amazing high because, you know, all the times reading shit and studying shit and physically getting out there boots deep, and you know, once it does pay off, it pays off for that whole time that you were super low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the time that you were
about all the times that were shit.
Exactly.
Right?
You forget about all of it. And there
Yeah,
you go. It starts
that's
back
right.
over, and it's just
That's
a repetitive
Like
thing.
that guy's chasing a high, right? I never
That's what
thought
it
of it like
is.
that, but
That's
just
what it
listening
is.
to you, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And once you hit that high, you're on that bad boy for as long as you could remember. I tell you what.
Next thing you know, it's like, what? We've only worked 16 hours today. God damn it. Get in the seat for another.
Oh yeah,
You know?
for another 16. Let's get 50 more through here. Come on, Ali, get in there.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do this.
I have a short story for you. I was prospecting a bunch of ground in Ecuador, the headwaters to the Amazon, and it's really, really rocky ground, like huge boulders, up to like 8-10 footers, right? It's really, really
Shit.
bony. And so there's this one really big valley I was looking at, and I saw these 2 guys digging away with picks and shovels and a little windlass. And I go boogieing over there, and here's these 2 older guys, little Spanish guys, and they're all like 5 feet tall, right? And they're in this hole about, I don't know, 10 feet deep, and they're wrapping ropes around these 3-foot boulders and winching them out of there and barring them out with bars and shovels and stuff. And I was chatting away with them there for a couple of minutes, and they were all muscle. One of them was 90 and the other one was 91.
Holy shit.
No
And they're
kidding.
moving big ass boulders.
And they were out there mining by hand, digging down to bedrock in this bouldery ground, and they were 90 years old, and they had the biggest smiles on their face. They were just living life, man. And you know, you would never think they were 90. They were 25. They were literally all muscle.
They found their true happiness. They
Yeah.
found their
Yeah,
true
so it's
happiness.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Literally, till they're 100 years old or whatever.
They'll be
they're
moving
going to be
fucking
Yeah.
boulders,
they're
finding
gonna be
gold.
punching holes.
Exactly.
They'll bring their cane out there and somehow
You
find
bet.
some automatic winch.
They'll use that as a pry bar.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you know, that feeling is just something else. Out of everything in this world, I can tell you what, when I first got into gold prospecting, and I've said this story a few different times on the podcast, but when I first got out prospecting, originally I was into like bottle digging, old garbage dumps, you know, from way back in the day, you know, finding bottles and stuff like that. And, you know, eventually I got into gold prospecting and did a little bit of research here and there. And you know, it's funny. I went up north and I had been camping there for years. I'd bring my family up there, myself, my buddies. We'd go up there, bring a little bit of booze and have a hell of a time, you know, hiking this way, that way, you know, fucking around, whatever we wanted to do. It was just our paradise, you know, out in the mountains. And once I got, you know, that scent of gold, oh, there's gold up there. You could possibly, so I'm like, fuck it. Okay. I'll plan a couple camping trips, you know, go up there and poke around a little bit. Well, sure as shit, I found my first piece of fly gnat shit, the smallest piece of gold, smallest piece of speck. You can't even pick the fucker up with a tweezer, you know, and I'm like, dude, I found gold. And I'm just like super ecstatic, you know, just insanely excited. And, you know, I tell my buddies, oh, yeah, whatever, dude, shut up, you know, and I'm just like giddy, you know. So I come home and I'm like, well, fuck, I got to get back up there. I got to find where the source is. I got to find this. I got to do this. So I went up there for probably about a good maybe 2 years and didn't find a drop. After that, I didn't find a fucking thing.
Oh, no.
And I got disappointed and this, that, and the other, but I'm like, I know it's there. If that little tiny fucking speck is there, I know Big Brother is somewhere, Big Sister is somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So I got to hiking up the mountains and actually going to places where it's extremely treacherous and going to town. And sure shit, I found really good areas. And
oh, wow.
And it was all, you know, downhill in a positive way, so to speak, from there. You know, I plan trips and just go and go and go. And I hike all this heavy. I mean, we're talking the heaviest crap you could possibly haul as a hike. And I'm hugging trees to pull myself up and, you know, trying the best I can to get up to these areas, you know, and I get up there and I just have the best time. I had a piece of shit little coffee maker that you put on top of a propane bottle, you know. You have to put rocks around it so it didn't tip over and, you know, just the stupidest shit. But I had the best time, you know. I that allure for finding it was just such an amazing feeling. It was more than an adrenaline rush and an excitement to find it. You know, and after so many times of not finding it, I finally found it. And I mean, the first time of excitement was nothing to the second time I actually found it. The second time, boy, I felt like a badass. I felt like you said, I felt like I knew everything. I was like, oh, I know this whole land. I know this area. I know this, that, the other, you know. It's just that feeling you get, you know, once you find it and you find good, you know, good pieces, you're like, wow, here we go.
Yeah.
And, you know, and since then it's just been an amazing thing. And, you know, and especially for you, Alan, once you got to that point where you're like, oh yeah, you know, and you just keep going, you ride it on out. So let's go ahead and do the 5-minute break real quick. That way everybody can go and grab what they need to grab, bathroom break, so on and so forth. We have an amazing second half of questions. I know you guys are like, man, this guy got too many of them.
No, it's all good. All good.
But we everybody that's watching absolutely loves what you guys do. I know that for a fact. Like I said, I've had guys reach out to me and say, hey, you guys gotta get Yukon Ali on the show. And the amazing thing is I got Alan as a bonus.
Right?
So
I said, Alan, you gotta come on. You have to talk to these people because the only reason I'm doing this is because of him.
That's
It's not.
exactly. That's
You know what I
awesome.
mean? It's not fair for me. Oh yeah, I'm Yukon Ali. Gee, fuck off. You know, you know what I mean? But he's like,
No, I
"Oh,
do. Yeah.
you have the personality. You have to get out there and talk to people." And I just tell, you know, I explain too much. I'm like, yeah, but I'll just punch you and tell you to shut up.
Poke him underneath the camera.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah.
No, I mean,
Just at the stock
in
product.
that specific spot, just for you, Alan. No,
Out
it's
comes the taser.
yeah, exactly. You hear it in the background, ready to go.
That's
Yeah.
right.
No, it's. I really appreciate you, Ali, bringing Alan on. I mean, you know, to really get a feel for human to human interaction. You know, I see a lot of podcasts and a lot of different. I can't say names obviously because I'll just get smacked inside, you know, upside the
Yeah.
face. But I see a lot of different. You know, we want to be real, down to earth, and really get to know you guys and you know, see the ins and outs of what you guys got going on. You know. That's what it boils down to. We all look up to folks like you who bust your ass in the Yukon for 6 months at a time. So, you know, we like to try to get down to earth with you guys. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to jump back into some amazing questions. Hopefully you guys are ready for some amazing questions.
Sure. Bring it on.
Alan's giving me that look. He's like, here we go.
He's gonna have to start drinking.
Yeah, Alan, go grab yourself a beer. We got 5 minutes, okay?
Exactly.
All right. So
Okay.
with that being said, I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
Cool.
Cool.
What's going on, everybody? We have both of them taking a break real quick, but I just wanted to let everybody know that we have something awesome going on while they're away. Bam! That's what it is right there. Swagger Saturday Pater. There she is.
Woo! Swagger Saturday. You can't get much better than that.
Swagger Saturday. Yeah, I wanted to let everybody know that everybody that posted in the PB family page, we're going to be doing the drawing at the end of the podcast for this bad boy. Can't tell you how much gold is in it, but anybody that did receive one from me, not the Swagger Saturday, but the regular PB giveaway Pater bags, knows that there's quite a bit. Oh, is
missing out
There's
on.
Rhea.
Rhea. Oh, beautiful.
That's the one that keeps knocking the camera
Yeah.
around, in case you were wondering.
And is that a she, correct?
It's
That's
a
a she, yeah.
And does she come up there with you guys to the Yukon?
She's
We
only a
got her
puppy,
this summer. She's only 10 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But she comes up there with you guys,
Oh,
right?
she loves it. She hates being in the city. I can tell you, a city dog, she is not.
Yeah.
She rides around and all the equipment, like, hopped up onto the D10.
You have to have her operating the equipment next season.
I know. Yeah, she sits
No,
in
that's...
the jump seat of the dump truck when I'm hauling dirt, and yeah, she
we
just
didn't tell you guys that, but
Yeah.
on our bad year, our dog died.
yeah. That was another. Like I
Oh.
told you, it was a sad country
Yes.
song. Like
What year was that?
2019, the dog
Wow.
died, and he was the sweet. He just showed up in camp, like in the middle of nowhere. We thought he was a wolf, but somebody.
That
Almost
dog
Your
showed up
badass
into
people.
your guys' camp?
Yeah, in May.
In
Not this one. The previous one, the one that
Right.
died.
2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was just an angel, like just
wow.
the sweetest dog. He died that year. Then we had a forest fire rip through our ground and our camp. We had to evacuate like last minute. They wouldn't put the fire out, so we had to move our whole camp. Like it
Everything.
was a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's something like that is extremely hard to bounce back from.
Yeah.
You
don't-
kind of question everything that's going on, everything that's in play. You question and you sit back and you say, "Fuck."
Yeah.
You just want to go behind a big rock and cry.
Yeah.
You're like, "What
Actually,
the
I-
fuck?"
I did that multiple times.
You're like, "What the fuck do we do?" With all that, and a lot of people. I mean, even myself, with dogs, don't understand that they become your family.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's not just a pet. It's something, that tugs on your heartstrings daily.
Yeah.
And
for the fact, like somebody, he either got lost or he was abandoned. He was almost dead when he showed up at our camp. And we're like, is this a wolf or what? Like, what the hell? He seems too nice to be a wolf. He just kind of inched closer to camp and we
right.
fed him bacon. That's like, no, this is a dog. Like, and yeah, he
slowly nursed him back to health.
yeah, and he was just
I'd imagine he was skin and bones at first when you got when he
He was
came to you guys.
you could
frostbitten.
his collarbones, his paws were all frostbitten, his ears.
His ears were half frostbitten.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd imagine that was probably a good point in time for him to enter your guys' lives with the way that your guys' season was going. I'm sure that was
that was
3 years.
2017. That was our
2017.
good year.
oh
He died in 2019. We
oh one of the worst years you guys had. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now your new dog, she can relive that extra feeling that you have every day going out there.
That's right. She's a sweetie.
We'll never replace him,
No.
but we'll
Yeah.
be there for you by your
That's right.
side.
Yeah, she's a good dog.
That's funny because when I used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment, I paid $300 a month in rent, and I was just never an animal person, and I ended up getting, of all animals, a Chiweenie. I know I'm gonna get shit for that from the PB family. That's something I've never talked about, but yeah. So I ended up getting a Chiweenie of all dogs, And if anybody knows, that's a damn wiener dog and a Chihuahua mix.
That's
And
hilarious.
and boy, he had the same attitude and demeanor I had. Like, I might be, just the smallest thing in the world, but I will tear your ass up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And over the months, as spring, summer, fall, he would come out to these camping trips, and we'd hike up these hills, and he'd be up there looking down at me like, "Come on, let's go, Dad. Come on, what's taking so long?"
Yeah.
And I gained that same attachment. It was absolutely massive. And as you get older, you got family, this, that, and the other places you live, you can or can't have them. And I've been fortunate to be able to see him as much as possible over at the grandmother's place. She took him in, and I was still young and dumb. I was just like, "Oh yeah, thank you, I appreciate it." And now, I'm to my age, and I'm like, man, I really freaking love him. I absolutely, every time he sees me, he knows it's me. He knows the scent, the this, the that. He's just, I'm like, yes.
You're back.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. It definitely is.
Where we are, dogs don't act like normal dogs. When they go up there, they know where they are, and so they instantly revert back to being in a pack, and they know that she's the weakest member of the pack.
I am not.
They follow her everywhere she goes.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so everywhere that she goes, the dog goes. If she goes to start the pump to pump water, the dog trots along, waits till the pump shuts off, and then goes back. Whenever she goes down to the machine, the dogs lay 20 or 30 feet away and keep an eye on her, and they follow her everywhere she goes. They know that that's their job, right?
So the question is, how does Alan feel about that?
That's why the dogs are there. So I don't have to worry, because we have lots of bear encounters.
Oh yeah, no, I can only imagine. That's in that little that little extra comfort being where you guys are is just such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And there's so many freaking people, and I can't say this enough. There's so many people that I wouldn't say overpass that ideology with their dog being with them when they're in Alaska or Yukon or wherever these remote places are. A lot of people kind of overlook that and don't really truly understand that, the dog's there not only to love you unconditionally, but to protect you as well. It's kind of like your own personal alarm.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what it is. And that's all they need to do is be the alarm. Because a lot of times you can't hear a bear coming. Like, I'm out in my beer tent having a beer.
Oh, yeah, they walked right up.
They walked right into my tent. It's like, fuck. When we didn't have a dog, and I'm screaming for Alan because I didn't have, a gun in the tent or anything.
Right.
It's like, Jesus. So,
and that's the thing too, is like, for instance, being out there in the type of wilderness that you guys are in. I mean, for all the people watching, I know for a damn fact that, a lot of folks know that the Yukon is very treacherous. It's very dangerous. It's not a place to get hurt in, Alan. But
Thank you.
I could fill a whole podcast with just my bear.
But it's a treacherous place, and you could be armed to the teeth and still encounter a bear so quickly without even realizing the situation at hand and what's going on and what you got to do. And having a companion such as a dog to be there for not only your personal alarm clock, but something that can help you get prepared and ready for something that's about to happen versus you now have to react to whatever's happening at that time being is absolutely phenomenal, and you gain that trust, you gain that appreciation for that companion being there for you. It's an extra appreciation. So
for sure.
Well, wait, you had a bad day with a bear. One time I had a grizzly come out.
Here we go.
Come out. I had a semi-automatic shotgun, and I pulled the bolt back to put a shell in the chamber, and the bolt jammed back, and I wouldn't put a shell in the chamber. So then the gun become a club, And I
Well, but hold on, before you continue this, but how did you feel instantly knowing that it became a club and not a gun?
The only thing he has nightmares about are bears. That's it.
Holy
Like
shit.
he'll just be screaming, thrashing, and I'm like,
Oh,
what was that?
Yeah.
And he's bear. Like
Well,
that's the only thing he has nightmares about.
I had other guns, but by the time I went back and
Wow.
got another gun, I figured that she'd have had me. So I just grabbed the gun by the stock and the barrel, and I hammered her in the head, and she whacked me, and we had a fight like kind of like a boxing match go on for. I don't know. It seemed like it was an awful long time. All I know is that my arms were just about ready to give out. I couldn't hold the gun up anymore. And
How the fuck are you so comfortable and just relaxed talking about this? I'm still shocked. The fact that you're sitting here just like, yeah, I was just beating the shit out of a fucking bear. No worries. Like, I would have had more emphasis. Like, dude, I was fighting a fucking, 1,000-pound fucking, holy shit. Wow.
She was a female grizzly because she had 3 cubs, so I know she was a female. She was 3 feet taller than me, and I finally got her right in the mouth, and I smashed her
This
teeth.
was through a window, like of the camp shack, but still.
You could be with a brick wall with a tiny little window and still shitting your pants as you're bashing the shit out of a mama freaking bear. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
That's one night I woke up to a gunshot. I'm dead asleep. I'm sitting in, just sleeping away. Next thing I know, there's Alan in the doorway in his underwear. Boom! Bear's trying to come through the door. Like, what the fuck just happened?
The whole trailer's
He's
full
like,
of cord.
how did you not hear that? He's like, couldn't you hear that bear punching through the door? I'm like, fuck no.
You fucking wake up, you turn over, and you see Alan in his underwear fucking boom! What the fuck? Holy shit, what a story.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fucking mountain man, if I ever heard of one.
Yeah,
Holy
exactly,
shit.
exactly.
I'm beating this bear in the mouth, and I finally get like, what the fuck, dude? Holy shit.
That's Alan in a nutshell. Yeah.
Holy shit, man. I probably would have shit my pants, fell on the ground. I'd probably be dead right now. I wouldn't have been like, all right, well, this is a club. Boom, boom. No. I would have been like, yeah, I would have been done for. I would have been so done for. Holy shit. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. Out of all the shit that I've heard in encounters with bears, leopards, mountain lions, this fucker grabs his shotgun that's now a fucking club and beats the shit out of this bear. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Wow. That is wow.
The evidence is all still there. She was coming through the wall. She tore the siding off, and she was starting to rip the plywood sheathing off.
Holy shit. Wow.
And this happens
Yeah.
just as fast as we're talking. That's how fast it happens.
Wow.
Like, this isn't like a 5-minute deal.
No.
Like, that bitch
Right.
is coming through the wall. She's coming through right now.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, and you had to make a decision. You had to figure out what to do, and since that fucker jammed, you couldn't grab anything else.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You had a beater now that you could beat the shit out of her with. Holy shit! Hey, I give you props, man, from the bottom of my heart. Holy shit!
I don't remember it, but people that heard it say all they could hear was this grunting and growling and me going, "Fucking bear, fucking bear."
You fucking bear, get the fuck! Holy shit! Wow, that is crazy. So
Good times.
that definitely goes into the question: what challenges do you face in the fucking Yukon? That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Wow, that is absolutely insane. Yeah, that's wow. That absolutely blows me away. I've seen a lot of bear when I go up north. close to the Canadian border there, Washington and the Canadian border. But my golly, man, like I said, I probably would shit my pants and freeze up, and I'd be done. And that's all she wrote.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
you know that fight or flight
fight or
instinct
flight comes
takes
in.
and you
I'd run. I'd be running for the fucking lake. I'd try to jump in the fucking lake and start swimming or some shit. You know, I wouldn't think of grabbing the butt of the shotgun, you know, and beating the piss out of the freaking bear. I just wouldn't think of it. You know, it's like, okay, drop the shotgun and fucking run. Oh, fuck. That's
one time. Sometimes I go at night after everybody's, you know, done for the day. And I'll go and run the cat for a while because that's my happy place. Is I've got all to myself. You know, I get in the cat and I turn on my tunes or
do your own thing.
Put on a book and I'm just by myself doing my thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like to walk to work in the evenings, and it's 24 hours of daylight. So it's daylight, you know, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm walking to work 10 o'clock one night, and somebody told me, "Hey, the boy saw a bear up topside, so maybe he's done with you." So I grabbed my rifle and down the road I go, and I got about a quarter mile from camp. And I remembered that I was target practicing with that rifle and I only had one bullet left in it. And sure enough, the goddamn bear comes along. And the bear's standing about 100 feet away, and I'm looking at it, and it's just giving me the look. It wasn't scared, right? And it's unless you've been around a lot of bears, you don't understand what I mean by the look. But
Right.
There's a look that they give you when you're food.
Yeah.
There's just a look. They just give you that glare like,
you look tasty.
Yeah, your food.
Yeah.
So I start talking to the bear, and I go, "Okay, bear. Well, you're talking distance, but you come a little bit closer, and that's going to be it for you."
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, saying this that one goddamn
Mr. One Bullet, Mr. One Bullet.
That son of a bitch came for me, and I let him get about 50 feet away, and I drilled him between the eyes.
Oh, shit. But you didn't know that it was gonna come. You had that kind of deciding factor where you're like, well, I got one fucking bullet. If not, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this bear with this fucking rifle.
Yeah, we're back to using the gun for a club.
Here we fucking go.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. So apparently that's some of the challenges you faced while you guys were out there. We've established that. That's wow.
You know what
Holy
else
shit.
sucks? Running out of beer when you're 3 hours from a liquor store.
Yeah, we're hitting on all the really big
the
problems.
juicy,
Really
juicy,
big
juicy.
problems.
Yeah,
Not
the
little
juicy ones.
like trees going
Yeah.
through radiators.
Yep.
No.
That's the thing. You guys all try to like flip a coin. Who's going for beer? Let's flip a coin. You know?
Yeah. No,
flip a
it's
coin.
always me.
Oh, there we go. The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Ali, you're going for beer. Let's go.
That's right.
You got 3 hours.
Yeah. One way.
Oh, 3 hours, one way, three. Hey, at least they all can look forward to beer in 6 hours, right?
Well, when it was just me and Alan, it was me.
Alan's probably telling you, hey, I'll do it the next time. And then the next time it's Ali, I'll do it the next time.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I've become an expert on plugging tires.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And how did you get into that?
What? Plugging tires?
Figuring out how to fix them so quickly and efficiently to the point where now you're an expert at actually plugging them and getting them good to go and getting back on the road.
Well, this truck that we took out there our first year, it had like stock tires, which are shit.
Well, they're made for
Just
California.
gonna say, they're
driving
made
on
for-
pavement.
Yeah.
Not made for Yukon.
And these roads we're on, there's this one hill, and we call it Tire Popper Hill, aptly.
Oh,
Because-
shit.
The one year I had 13 flat tires.
In 12 months, you had 13
No,
flats.
6.
Oh, yeah, because you guys' operation is 6 months in. Holy
Yeah, sometimes 3 flat tires in a day.
Yeah. So I
Sometimes.
just stick another fucking plug and then off to town.
You have your own plug case
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
with a piece of duct tape that's fucking written down, plug case.
And a little
Yeah.
compressor, yeah. You hear
Hey,
this?
what took you so long? Popped a tire. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we were
What?
having all these flat tires, and so she's on her way to Whitehorse to get new tires and to pick up a water pump, I think.
Yeah.
And then we had a flat tire before she even
By
left.
myself.
So before she left, there's a flat tire. So I was going to fix it, and I went, no, I'm going to tell you how to do it. Let you do it with your own hands, because showing someone is not the same as someone doing it themselves.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So I told her how to do it, and she did it. And then sure enough, on the way to Whitehorse that night, she had 3 flat tires.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So there she is on the side of the highway
In
at
the
2 or
middle
3,
of nowhere,
2
no
or 3
cell
o'clock in the
service,
morning
no
out there
nothing.
pumping up tires.
You didn't have a fucking choice. You were at the point where pop. Oh, well, fuck. Here we go.
Here we go.
Pop open the case and see
Yeah.
what fucking happened.
Have you ever seen that movie Christmas Story?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the
Oh,
dad changing the tire now. 30 seconds flat.
Babe, what took you so long? 4 flat tires, this, that, the bear I had to pummel. No.
Yeah. I'm the dad. If you can't
Oh,
fucking plug a tire in 30
man.
seconds, you're dead to me.
I remember my first flat tire, to be honest, and it was in a like a 98 Chevy Lumina, just a fucking boat of a car. And man, I tell you what, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Nobody ever taught me what to do, how to do it, this, that. They said pull off on the side of the road, right? They never said to call this, call that, do this, do that. And sure shit, I got a flat tire heading out to Deer Park in Washington, and I was scared shitless. I said, what the fuck do I do with this? And what do I do with this? And, 4.5 hours later,
No.
4.5 fucking hours later,
No.
it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were supposed to be out there for Thanksgiving or some shit by like 9:10 or something like that. It was a late Thanksgiving, and yeah, 4.5 hours later, I figured out how to fucking fix a tire. So I learned the hard way, and I think a lot of people need to learn the hard way.
You're
You
right.
know, if you learn the easy way, then you have these extra little tools to help you. But if you got some piece of shit manufactured iron to pop the bolts into this, that, you're like, what the fuck is this? This is
Yeah.
supposed to repair a tire. What the hell?
No kidding.
But you fucking learn the hard way, and from then on, and it's simple, easy shit to you.
Yeah.
Your case, however, holy shit! I mean, you should be
Yeah.
teaching classes.
I
in the-
should. Yeah.
If
I
you,
could make those Tire Patch Kit companies a lot of money, I think.
but you can fucking start your own tire patch company with
There
how
you
many
go.
patches,
There you
with
go.
how many pouches you fucking fixed. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
What is that? 3 or 4 in 1 hour of
Oh.
fucking driving? Holy
God,
shit!
I tell you.
No, Whitehorse from camp's a 12-hour drive
Yeah.
each way.
Wow. And
And
what?
what is Alan?
Oh, go
do?
for it.
Send me off on my own. Have fun. Leave at 5 in the afternoon so you get to Whitehorse at 5 in the morning. Just drive all night on your own.
Hey, I'll see you at 6 or 7 or 8 or.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you guys.
He's
I
like,
absolutely
I
love
got work to do. I've got to
Oh,
strip some fucking ground.
Jesus.
Winter's
Yeah.
coming.
it. Yeah.
Like you go to Whitehorse. I'll
He,
strip the ground.
he gives you that feeling like he's super, super busy.
Yeah.
That super
Yeah.
busy feeling. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's understandable. And then you're 3 hours in on the drive. You're like, that motherfucker.
Exactly.
He's cheesing from ear to ear, so I know I'm
Oh, I
right.
He knows.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic. We've been talking about the seasons. We've been talking about the the challenges that you guys face and all that good stuff. I think a lot of the folks want to know what kind of equipment do you guys use for cleanups, and let's, before we get to that full on conversation, once you guys had a good season, What kind of equipment did you guys decide to use that was the most efficient for you guys? That you guys, obviously it's a learning curve with a lot of different equipment because there's so much freaking equipment out there.
No,
that
it's
give
not
you
that. Like when you're, when you're on the scale we're on, like Alan is really partial to what is it called?
Jigs
No, what's the plant?
of the plant.
Yeah. Because we have a
Oh,
trommel,
yeah,
which is a barrel, right? Which
screen
he
deck.
doesn't really like.
Screen
Alan
decks.
likes screen deck plants, but
Yeah.
we haven't had that good of a season yet where we can afford to go and get his,
Yeah.
his prized screen deck. So we have a trommel, and the one we have now is about, I don't know, 1,000% better than the one we had before. Like the one we had before, we called Gargamel. Like I don't. It was,
For all those that don't know who Gargamel is, do your freaking research.
yeah,
Well, we
Because, yeah.
and it was so bad. Like we made it last. Alan fixed it. We made it last 4 seasons, and by the end, we were calling it the Holy Roller. It wasn't Gargamel anymore. It was so full of holes. There was probably gold pissing out every.
The barrel, the whole barrel was coming apart.
It was like a Coke tin at the end.
Alan's probably walking over and seeing gold here and there. We're going to change it.
Well, we scrounged all this steel that we found along the creek.
Yeah, we just, like, people would leave it behind, so we'd pick it up.
geez.
Alan would weld it into the barrel.
Then I'd drive over with a cat or an excavator and make it, curve it the right way, and then I'd weld patches all over the place. But you're running, up to 2-foot boulders through it.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing was so thin that it would flex, and it wasn't round anymore.
Shit.
So you couldn't get perfect welds on things, and it was too thin and it was too out of round. So I'd weld them in as best I could, but eventually the rocks would split the welds open. So I had like 50 pieces welded in this thing. So every day.
Holy shit, Alan. What the fuck? Time for new equipment. What the fuck?
Couldn't afford it.
It's $800,000 for a new plant.
Yeah, it's 800 grand.
So as she's sluicing, she had to do her own tailing. She had a little road beside the trommel, so she'd be feeding in about every half hour. She'd run back and you throw away like 6 or 8 buckets of rocks right out the back of the trommel. Well, as she's doing this, as the trommel's coming apart and these pieces of steel would come out the back, as she's doing tailing, she would pick out those pieces of steel.
Grab the steel. Here, Alan, go re-weld.
I'd put it aside.
And she'd put them all in a little pile, and then every morning I'd go down there early and drag them all in the back of the trommel and weld them all back in again.
Holy shit. That right there is so genuine. I don't know what is it. Holy shit.
Like,
well, have you ever been a drag racer?
I've done quarters. That's about as close as I've gotten.
Okay, well, there's a saying in drag racing that you run what you brung. In other words, whatever you got for a car, that's what you brung, so that's what you race, right? Well, in gold mining is what you got, so
you run what you brung. Oh shit! Hey, Ali, you collect all the pieces? Yep. All right. He got his welder with him, ready to go to town for 3-4 hours.
The
Holy
welder
shit.
was fucking parked next to that trommel.
It was ready to go.
3 years. 3 years. Like,
so looking back on that right now, as we're sitting, I'm sure that you guys feel like that was such a good part of your guys' life with what you guys went through. I mean, obviously you guys had to deal with that, but looking back on it, it's just one of those things where it's a positive memory. It's such
Gargamel.
Yeah.
Gargamel got us to where we are today. Like, as much of a piece of shit as it was, it still brought out enough gold that we got an upgraded trommel.
Right.
Which, is it what we want? No, but again, it was there. It was in the Yukon. You didn't have to ship it up. You didn't have to pay.
Right. It was part of your guys. It was. Yeah. It was almost like a distant cousin. It was almost
Yes.
one of those, you know,
It
you
was
don't
a-
really like him, but when he
updated
comes to like
brother.
Thanksgiving, you're like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
you know.
okay, yeah.
Well,
But that's the thing. But without Gargamel, we wouldn't be where we are.
you
Yeah.
have to, when you don't have very many people, as in two.
Yeah. Amen to that.
You have to
Adapt.
you know, in order to make money, with most of the ground now is very lean, so you have to sluice and sluice and sluice and sluice, and
Yeah.
ultimately that's the only thing you're there for, right? Is to sluice.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
get gold, you have to sluice. You got to run that plant as many hours as you possibly can every
Right.
single day. Everything else that you do and that we've been talking about is a means to that end.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you've got two of you. You cannot spend 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day, firing everything up every day. So
Right.
we engineered the site so that one person could run it all by themselves.
Which I
So-
did every day.
Wow.
So we bought a.
Wow.
Again, Alan leaves me.
So
Damn you, Alan.
Yeah.
yeah, like I always do nothing. So
No, he just breaks a bunch of things, Allie. No worries.
so we keep everything really, really close. We only had 100 feet of hose, so we made sure that we set the plant up close, within 100 feet from water. And the pump is it's very simple and self-priming, and a big generator that just runs on the push of a button. You push a button, you flip a breaker. So she could go down there and she fire up the excavator. And as it's warming up, she goes over, fires up the water pump. As it has a compressor on, it automatically primes itself. As the engine's warming up, you fire up the generator, and by the time you've made the circuit, it's already warmed up. And you rev the generator up, flip the breaker, walk over to the pump, set the RPM, because we've figured out exactly what RPM you need to run for the amount of water. Jump in the excavator, and you're running. So she could be running in 5 minutes. And she did her own rock, so I go up really early in the morning and get rid of all the rock pile and push up pay dirt and get everything fueled and greased and make sure that
Everything's running smooth.
Yeah, everything's all ready to go.
God.
Yeah.
And then she goes down at like 9 o'clock, and after she's made the lunches, et cetera, and put out taking something out for dinner and whatever. And then she would sluice away for hours and hours and hours, and I'd be off stripping and fixing, repairing, servicing something, and then
Sleeping.
Yeah, go have a nap. And then,
hey, sleeping is part of working. You need
That's
it.
right.
and then I'd go out. Well, she cooked dinner. I'd go out sluice for a while, and then after dinner, and she would. Then that's when she'd cook dinner, have a shower while dinner's cooking, and then she'd come down, relieve me. I'd go back up, have a shower, relax for a while. She would sluice, and then sometimes we would, depending on what the temperature of the ground was like. If it's when the summertime, we'd clean up first thing in the morning, so we'd run as late as we could at night. But if it was cold out, you can't leave.
You had
the
to
runs.
clean it that night.
Yeah,
Like,
the instant
Right.
so
shut
2
down.
in the morning, we got frickin'
Okay.
flashlights out there and headlamps, cleaning mats.
Well, if you leave it overnight, it freezes absolutely
Yeah.
solid because all the air can get underneath it and beside it.
And then
over
you're
it.
out the next morning with a tiger torch and
hot
buckets
water,
of hot
boiling
water.
every time you thaw it out.
Warming shit up. Look at it this way. You guys are a fucking power couple. Holy shit. The shit that you guys had to go through, and you guys are still getting her done. Holy shit. I mean, that just, wow, that plays into the part of, once you find your other half and you guys find your passion, that is just fucking phenomenal. You guys have ran through dirt multiple times, up, down, left, and right. And the fact that you guys are just fucking trucking on is
Yeah.
such a fucking amazing thing. It really is.
Thank you.
I mean, it speaks to volumes, and and like I said, it's so hard to find such a power couple to be able to do what you guys do. Like, I cannot say enough. My hat is off to you guys. I mean, the
I
trials
have
and
to
tribulations.
He's such a sweetheart. He treats me like a queen, like, honestly, and that's pretty hard to do out in the middle of the nowhere Yukon, but he finds a way to do it every day. Like, I can't imagine not being with him every day. Like we live, work together 24/7,
Yeah.
365, and we haven't killed each other yet. That in itself, I find
Yeah.
like something to
Extremely amazing. And that's the thing, like I said, you guys are a power couple. I mean, you guys have went through top to bottom, left to right, and you guys make it work in such a phenomenal way. And it's I have such the honor to be able to talk to you guys face to face
Aw.
and really be able to understand you guys on a human to human level. Not a lot of people can honestly say that. Not a lot of people can honestly say that, hey, I talked to someone, that is such a phenomenal couple and such a phenomenal situation that they're in. And,
That's
you
so
know, I,
nice.
I mean, I give you guys honest respect and props. I mean, holy moly, it's hard to come across folks like you. I'll be honest. I mean, you see a lot of people try to do what you guys do and spend all their life savings and go through trials and tribulations just to end up bankrupt and apart from each other. But you guys have managed to get through the problems and get through the bullshit and do what you guys do and enjoy it genuinely.
Yeah.
And that's a feat in itself. It's truly a feat in itself to be able to do any of that. I mean,
never thought about it that way. Like honestly, we're so focused on what are you gonna do next? Like because every day is a gong show. Like
right,
really, almost every day is a gong show. And
right.
so something happens, and me and Alan will sit down and go, okay, what are we gonna do next? Like we don't sit here and bawl and oh poor me, poor fucking me, why did this happen to us? It's what are you gonna do now?
It's instead of being problem starters, you guys are problem solvers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't like that. That's just the reality of it. And especially when it comes to the gold community and the prospecting and mining community, it's when folks see people like you guys, they're extremely inspired because you guys make it work in such a phenomenal way. I mean, with each way.
So nice.
You guys
That's
have hard times, but at the end of the day, you guys make it work and you guys are still making it work. And, like folks like me, for instance, I look up to people like you because that is a dream. That is something so amazing that you guys are able to frickin' do on a daily basis, getting out there and enjoying nature and seeing nature firsthand, not on televisions, not on this, that, the other, firsthand.
yeah.
That's like holy grail type shit. You don't get to experience that on a daily experience with the majority of folks and be able to make it work, be able to actually make it work. And you guys do. So like I said, my hats are off to you guys.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I really appreciate you guys. So with that being said, we do have some comments that are coming through, and I love the PB family and everybody that's watching on YouTube right now. We do have some awesome questions in the comments that I have to ask.
Okay.
It's only a matter of time before we jump on these comments real quick.
Dude.
John Davis says, "What are you both drinking?"
Beer. Beer, and Alan's doing wine.
A German Riesling.
Yeah. I'm actually the beer drinker. Alan likes frou-frou drinks like pina coladas.
I like things that taste better.
Hey, hold on, Allie. Hold on. I got a little bit to put into that, okay? When I was drinking, I was the same way.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit from you PB fam and everybody else watching, but you know what? I'll fucking take it. I was the same way. I was like, fuck, if I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink something that tastes fucking good. That goes down fucking good.
Beer tastes good.
I like beer when it's ice cold. So cold that it has ice crystals in it.
Let's rephrase that. You liked beer when it tastes ice cold because you couldn't taste it.
That's right. How did you know? And to be honest, if it's a really hot, dusty day and and your face is caked in dust, and there's so much dust in your throat that you can't breathe. And an ice cold beer goes down better than
I don't
nothing else
care
on
what
the planet.
the temperature
Oh, yeah.
is and
Amen.
what is going on. A beer is always good.
Yeah.
I love the German Rieslings. They're very fruity. It's like drinking like apple juice is almost.
Plays back into the part. It has to taste good if I'm drinking.
Good. Hey, furthermore, this is 10% alcohol, and that wussy beer is like 4.5.
Hey, so it only takes 1 to your 3, Ali.
There you go. Hey, that just gives me free reign to drink more beer to keep up with him.
That is true, but more bathroom breaks.
Can you read that?
It says, I have good day on the bottom, bad day up in the middle, and then don't ask up top.
So that's measured at 6, 8, and 10 ounces.
I like that. I got to get my wife one of them bad boys. I got to get one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a freaking great glass. Holy shit. All right, let's see. We got more comments here. IB says, you can hire me to polish the nuggets. Oh, we got another one from Ronnie James. He says, you guys should be on TV.
Aw, Ronnie, my buddy.
That's awesome. Absolutely.
I love Ronnie. He's a good guy.
He is. He's absolutely phenomenal. Me and him have talked quite a bit. We share a lot of different stuff between our groups and our different family bases. And it's funny because the PB family is part of all of the other families.
Yeah, it's really cool. You guys are all the same. He's selling the gold he's got up. He's selling my gold. Yeah.
So it was funny. Ronnie James actually shouted out and he said, hey, Jaron Colnane, let everyone know the nuggets. Oh, okay. Nuggets I've been posting in your group to prospecting buddies and bottom of the pan, gold prospecting, mining, detecting, rock hounding adventures. So shout out, Ronnie.
Shout out, Ronnie. Cheers, buddy.
Yes, I appreciate everything you do, brother man. And you know I love you. This is one family that we all love each other.
Exactly.
So, shout out to Ronnie. Let's see here. He said, happy Saturday, everybody on the podcast. Shout out to you too, brother man. Let's see. I saw a really good question here. We're at over 73 comments, so I'm trying to, you know what I mean? It's kind of tough here. Oh, here we go. Oh, go for it. Go for it, Ali.
I saw one. I can't see them on this video, but I saw one guy asking what was the biggest nugget we found. I don't have that one, but I have the coolest nugget. I don't know if you can see it, but really good. But this one is just so cool.
Yeah, bring it up.
More?
There. Yeah, a little up right there. Holy shit, that has a lot of character to it, and it's not smoothed over.
No, it's like totally.
And it has quartz deposit. Wow. Yeah. That's my freaking bitchin'.
My favorite.
Ali, send me a direct message and let me buy it from you. No.
There you go.
Oh, let's see here. IB says, have they ever prospected with a metal detector to find hot spots?
No, we can't.
No, mostly you can't. Some friends of ours came up from Arizona with metal detectors, and the instant they turned them on our site, they screamed until they turn them off.
Because there's so many heavies.
There's so many hot rocks. There's so much stuff. Oh, really good ones. I'm told you can do it. Wow. There's a guy that had a super sensitive one that only worked like an inch deep, and he'd work really small areas with it. But for the most part, it's just too sensitive an area. It's just too mineralized.
And we do volume, right? Like we have to dig down. We have to strip away 15 to 25 feet of overburden. So
to get down to it.
A metal detector is not impossible. Like by that point we're so fucking invested. I don't need a metal detector. I need to run.
You don't need to be swinging some shit. You need to be digging in some shit.
I need to pull that shit to the plant.
Yeah, you gotta remember when we get down there, our pay dirt is frozen solid.
Yeah.
once we get down to pay dirt, it takes a full month to thaw it in the sun.
Right. Yeah, so unfortunately, guys, metal detector is just it's irrelevant in their situation. Let's see here. IB says he took his aggression out on the bear. LOL. I think he did. I will agree with you, IB. I promise you. I will agree with you 100%. John Davis says, what's the coolest thing that you guys have found? Besides gold, of course.
No, that coffee grinder. Did you see that photo on my
I did. And then someone commented with one with wood in full condition.
Yes. So, okay, when we were building the road, like we moved to the new creek this year, and we were building a new road, like a shortcut road to our camp, and Alan uncovered, he started seeing bottles, and he's like, oh shit, Allison, get over here, like come see this.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of scraping away, and this guy's whole life, like the cabin, the remains of it was still there. We found that coffee grinder. I found bottles. Like, this guy was a drinker, and he must have done well. So this
right there. Whoa.
This says Lemp St. Louis. So I Googled it, found this guy that collects these bottles, and it was manufactured 1898 to 1904. So this cabin was from the fucking gold rush, man.
Holy! We found a whole cache of those beer bottles.
Like lots of them.
I think I broke 2 with the excavator, but we saved, I don't know, 7.
Let me buy one of them from you so I can put it in my display case.
Yeah.
Please, seriously, I got a display case with insane. Look at this, insane.
Oh wow!
This is from California, from a very, very good friend of mine, Shannon with Amra.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is what the old timers left behind.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to be putting that in the display case, and I have a whole bunch of other really, really cool goodies.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I'm building a display case with all different artifacts from different provinces, different states, all that good stuff. So I'd love to. Oh, there goes my camera. Here we go. Let's try this. Nope, didn't work. All right. Well, I'll stay blurry for a second.
See that? That's a
butter. Oh, that is gorgeous.
It's crystallized egg.
Oh, crystallized egg, right? Sorry.
What?
Crystallized egg, and this is also from 1900. And there is there's testimonials on the back here from people from the gold rush talking about how this crystallized egg saved their life.
Wow.
Like
that is absolutely freaking phenomenal.
This guy left his whole life there. There was silver knives and forks, ceramic bowls. He had glass windows. So, and that, from everything I've found out, if he had the money to put windows in, he did very well.
He did extremely well, especially for windows way back when. I mean, the process to actually make a window was not the process as it was, or as it is today. It's
and get it out there by horse.
Yeah, without it breaking or anything like that. He must have done extremely well.
So that's the coolest thing we have found, I think.
Right. No, that's wow. Let me try to fix my. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, you got it.
There we go.
I dug up some pickaxes and stuff from 20 feet down and stuff.
Yeah.
Dug up pickaxes?
Yeah.
Authentic fucking pickaxes.
Where is it? Did you put it in storage? Shit.
Fuck yeah. Hold on to them bad boys.
Jean jackets. Jean jacket?
That were still.
It was frozen in ice. So
but it was still good. So no oxygen hit it.
I found one tunnel where they'd planned on coming back, so that the shaft going down, they covered it up with logs and they put moss over it. So in the summertime it wouldn't thaw.
Yep.
And when we got down to the bottom of the tunnel, like 25 feet down, and the tunnel's all running along, you could see where he left all his tools on his last day, and he had like a little chipping hammer and a little baby shovel and a big shovel and a pickaxe.
Holy
a pair of leather
shit.
gloves, and they're all put away really nice and neatly in a little stack and all leaning against the pile where just like he was going to come back the next day, right?
Such a phenomenal freaking find.
Yeah,
Holy
I
shit.
found quite a bit of that stuff. And some of the cribbing is amazing. Like those guys chopped it all by hand and fit it all together just so, and they drill holes with a brace and bit and make dowels from branches and dowel all the cribbing together in the corners and stuff.
That's what's crazy is the guys back in the fucking day, they had to work 4,000 times more than we ever had to work to find any of that gold. They had to work an insane amount and actually live there to be able to be profitable.
Oh, no doubt. There's a creek I worked over by the Alaska border several years back, and it's named Matson Creek after John Matson, who was married to Klondike Kate. And Klondike Kate was a famous dancer from the gold rush. I believe she was from San Francisco. Anyway, there's always he staked the creek in 1911, and he died there in 1946. And he was originally from Norway, and he came during the gold rush in 1898. And he'd prospected around, and he'd finally settled on Matson Creek in 1911. And there's all these stories that when he died, he left all his gold behind. Klondike Kate wrote all these letters saying that he had a gold cache and blah, 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 blah. So for 60, 70 years, everybody looked for it. And when I was on the creek on the far side, it's a big, huge valley. It's almost 1,000 feet wide. And on one spot, not that far from where his main cabin was, because those guys built lots of cabins because they did all their underground work in the wintertime. So in the wintertime there, it's dark. It's dark almost all day.
Holy shit.
And really cold. So they tended to keep building small cabins close to where they were working. So they didn't have to walk that far, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And his main cabin was not that far from this huge bedrock outcropping. And so I was thinking, that's all you have to do when you're in a bulldozer all day is, and I was thinking if I was going to hide something, I'd hide it by that bedrock outcropping. And so I went over there scooting around one day, and I saw a coffee can underneath a big slab of rock leaning against the bedrock shelf. And I pulled this 3-foot flat rock off and picked up this coffee can and shook it. And it was right full of stuff. And I popped the lid off of it, and it was a vacuum packed can, and it was absolutely stuffed with all his precious papers and miscellaneous other stuff. And it had every single claim renewal from 1911 right to 1946.
Holy shit.
It had hundreds of receipts from the paddle wheelers that hauled his freight for him. And it had all these receipts from the hardware stores and stuff in Dawson, and on shovels and stuff. It had menus and prices from restaurants. It had
yeah.
It had
wow.
I haven't got to that yet.
Wow.
So you could see how much he paid for all these shovels and picks and boats, because I guess he went twice a year. He went in December and June. So he'd go by dog sled in December and then go by boat out to the Yukon River in the summer.
Holy shit.
And he saw Klondike Kate during the gold rush in 1898 and fell in love with her. And then her husband stole everything she owned, ran off with another girl while she was out touring the States around 1932, I think. And so he wrote her a letter and said that he would take care of her. And he met up with her in Vancouver in 1933 and married her. And he had all the newspaper clippings from the wedding.
Yeah.
And I had his liquor license for his wedding. I had his wedding license, marriage license, and
holy shit! You struck gold in
all
itself.
The original papers for when he married Klondike Kate, and on and on and on. Now my ex-wife stole it all, but anyway, I had a pile of papers like that. And for some reason, that vacuum coffee can kept those papers pristine. Like they were put in there yesterday. Like when you pulled the paper out, you could smell the paper and the ink. It was
right.
It was like brand spanking new. There wasn't a stain on it or anything.
Yeah.
And if you look at pictures of him, Yeah, the pictures in the newspaper clippings of when he got married, he had a pocket watch and a watch chain. His kids that used to put pocket watches in their top pocket, like their
Yeah.
breast pocket,
Yeah.
and they had like this a gold watch chain, and that gold watch chain was in that can, and it was made up with nuggets and with pieces of ivory all through it. So that was pretty
Holy shit, that was just pretty cool.
That's pretty
That
cool.
was
You know, when you find stuff and you have no idea where it come from, but that you knew exactly whose stuff that was.
and the fact that you had so much detail to his life, his own
Exactly.
specific life is just.
And he's still there. The RC, when he died out there, the RCMP came out and buried him in 1946, and kind of like Kate sent him up a headstone and stuff. It's all still there.
It's still on the creek.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's one of those stories that sticks with you for the rest of your life. A good friend of mine, Shannon, that's another situation with him is he ended up coming across a very, very old, when the gold rush happened, a gold miner way back when, and basically did a lot of research and found his old cabin and stumbled upon a lot of the stuff that he was all about. And that's just one in a million. You know,
Yeah.
it's running across that it's gold itself.
It is.
Truly is.
I was honestly more excited finding this remains
Yeah.
of a cabin than I am like when we find gold. I mean,
Right.
yeah, that's super cool. We need it to pay our bills and keep going, but finding that history.
History.
This other bottle I have, it still has the cork in it, and the only thing I thought was the last person's lips to touch this bottle was somebody out of the gold rush. Like
Right.
literally somebody
Right.
batshit crazy enough
To
make
do
it
that
up
shit.
to Dawson City
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
haul beer out to the creek. And,
Right.
like,
And do that kind of shit
Yeah.
with basic
You know,
hand tools.
yes,
modern-
I have so much respect for those
Yeah.
guys. Like when I see their
Wow.
shit. Another thing, like this year, we uncovered a ladder going down like to bedrock. I think Ellen had cut it off, like, you know, because you're stripping away and then you see,
Right.
oh shit. So I don't
Right.
know how many feet we cut off, but we got about 6 feet of it.
Yeah, it's
intact.
probably 30 feet
And it's,
long.
you know, hand built ladder going down to the bedrock in a shaft. It's like,
Right.
that is crazy, man.
Yeah, all
Absolutely
built with
crazy.
An axe. You should see how good those guys were with an axe, because when you come across a 6-inch tree, you can see where they cut that off with 3 strokes.
Wow. Holy
Like, how many people do you
shit.
know can sharpen an axe
None.
and swing it so they cut off a 6-inch tree with 3
Yeah.
strokes, one
None.
on each side and one to finish it off? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
These guys knew what they were doing
Oh,
100%.
and they were probably really tough because they did
Oh, yeah.
everything by hand, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Like all the old school prospectors, they had to work 1,000 times harder than any one of us
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
in
Yeah.
any generation.
We're bitching because,
Yeah.
we work so
In
hard.
our
and
climate
we
control
have,
plans.
equipment.
Yeah.
And then I come across shit that they've left behind. I go, I am such a wuss. Like,
Yeah, that's funny. That's too funny. You know, the thing is they didn't have the technology we have nowadays, and they worked around it 24/7, 7 days a week. You know, at the end of the day, the world evolves regardless of anybody or anyone. You know, it evolves. And, you know, we always come across new challenges that we face in the community, no matter big or small or whatever it may be. But, you know, we always face our own challenges that are extremely tough. But as far as the guys back then, they didn't have any option whatsoever, but to use their manpower
you're
to
right.
get
Right.
what they were going to.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? They didn't have options and choices and investments and this, that, and the other. They had no choice. It was, I'm going to go up on a dog sled in a place that's extremely remote with no hospitals, even in 8 hours of a dog sled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm going to risk my life for this. And,
Yeah.
you know, those pioneers are just insane. To be able to meet one of those these days, it would just be shock and awe. The basic hand tools. And even then, as you saw, Alan, with the receipts to pay for the pickaxe and this and that and the other, back in those days, the miners were being mined themselves.
Oh, definitely.
From these companies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean?
I had a gold memorandum from 1912 and 1917 where he sold about 100 ounces each time for $17.50 an ounce.
Holy shit. And I mean, even then, I was talking to, I don't remember who it was on the podcast, but with the California Gold Rush, to actually purchase an axe itself was $20.
Oh my God.
So it cost more than an ounce of gold itself.
Yeah.
And we all know what an ounce of gold is and how hard it is to get it. So.
Well, even eggs and the Gold Rush are being sold
$5
for $5 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely insane to be able to continue to pursue what they were pursuing
Yeah.
and still do it year end and year end and year end just to get gold to sale.
Oh, you're right. The ones who made the most money were the ones who mined the miners.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was mine the miners in that era, in that time. And I mean, at the end of the day, like we say nowadays, we wouldn't take back any of those times getting out there and going through the ups and downs, because it's that feeling that you get when you find it, that is indescribable.
Yes.
We'll pay more than we need to find the shit, but we want to find the shit. We want to go and find it. And so that's what happened with them is that excitement, that enjoyment, the allurement, all that shit played a part in them, going up to the Yukon and the California Gold Rush and back east. It all plays into that part,
Yeah.
But it's to be able to find that cabin or the remains of what was once a cabin is freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah, and the main road was built there in the 70s, within 20 feet of it, and no one had ever found it because there was no cabin. It was all grown right over. It was up there in the bush.
Yeah.
Lots of places. The moss is about 6 inches to a foot deep. So
Holy
the moss had gone over the whole area, and it was just a really slight depression where the cabin was. But the only reason we found it is I caught the corner of the cat blade when I started pushing the road through, and so I
knew. And you found that can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I took off out of there. I found it was a pot or a pan, wasn't it? Originally?
It was a bowl.
A bowl. Oh yeah, that's right.
That white ceramic bowl.
Ceramic bowl come out. So I just took off out of there and left it, and then we
went down with the excavator.
Went down with the excavator when the excavator was close by, and scraped the moss off, and then that's when all this stuff started. All these
bottles and windows and fucking knives.
His old stove. And
that freaking feeling you guys got when you actually started finding that shit is like, let's keep going. Let's go deeper, deeper. Let's find this shit. Come on, babe. Let's go. Let's do this.
Oh, I wanted to, but Alan's like, we got to get this fucking hole up, digging later.
Oh my God, to see her exaggerate.
He was a kid on Christmas Day, but he held it to himself. That's what happened. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we got a few more comments here. We're going to run through real quick. Let's see. Don Wentz says the fuel costs alone per hour could buy a fleet of detectors. I bet. Yes.
Yes.
Well, you may be right, but the gold is 25 feet down.
So you're not going to detect it.
Yeah.
So no matter how many you buy, it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Because you need the equipment to get down to where the gold is.
That 25 feet of ground is frozen solid. So
yep.
You can run around in the bush. You might just as well run around the bush and down in the redwood forest with a metal detector is run around where we are, because the gold's 25 feet down, frozen solid. If he did have a detector that would, differentiate between the hot rocks and actually find the gold. Another thing is the gold is mostly really scattered there, and most of it's pretty small. It's too small to find with a metal detector where we are.
Yeah.
And it's scattered over a big area. The only way we get any goals by doing a big volume. It's
volume.
If you're gonna come out there with a gold pen, most likely you're gonna
cry.
Yeah, you're
gonna be like, fuck this ground sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fool's errand to play with even with a gold pan. You have to
Yeah.
do it by bulk. You have to, like when we do our testing, we rarely ever use a gold pan. We shovel a yard through. We'll go and dig a yard out with an excavator and we cream it. We take the very best of the best.
Right.
And then put it into a pile, loosen it up, and then we'll shovel that through
a keen,
through a little test box, and we'll shovel a yard through, and then we'll pan.
Go from there.
Right, and that's the only way you're gonna find enough gold worth talking about. Now, undoubtedly, there are places that you could metal detect, but where we are right now,
pretty difficult,
impossible.
Pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too with like the TV shows, and obviously I'm not going to bring any up. But, the funny thing is you see a lot of them using specific pans to basically date their season. And, a lot of that stuff is true in certain aspects and with specific land regions. But as far as where you guys are at, that's just unacceptable. It's just not plausible. You guys have to use some type of other system to be able to get.
If you are basing your ground purchase on a fucking pan,
right?
Like what? You are a special fucking class of idiot.
Right.
Honestly,
and
because you're paying hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars for ground.
More, yeah. I was going to say more, yeah.
You're going to go over there with one pan and go, oh fuck, yeah, this looks good.
Right. And that's one of the topics that I wanted to cover. A super brief understanding of that is, a lot of the shows and a lot of the things you see, they base off of a pan or two, whether it be this big in the pan or that big, they base it off of that.
Feasible.
Yeah,
and it's not.
That's not how it works, though. They're thinking that they're filming a mining operation, and that's not
right.
You know who Simon Cowell is?
Yeah.
Well, how he'll get singers, and he'll put different singers together as a group, and then he'll get songwriters, and then he'll get someone that produces it and put it all together.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do when they make up all those reality TV shows.
Right. And I hope the folks understand that. I hope you guys understand that.
No, it's entertainment, and it is what it is. Right?
No,
exactly.
What they are mining.
Yeah.
They are mining.
100%. And
we go past we drive past Parker's and what's his nuts? Tony to get to our
they're neighbors of ours,
They're our neighbors.
Yeah, and so that way everybody knows I'm not downing any of them guys in any way sense of the matter. I'm specifically trying to make sure that anybody that watches those shows in respect, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are mining, like you guys said, they are out there doing their thing and paying the bills and enjoying what they do. But it's not necessarily a choice on either or's behalf on what gets broadcasted and what doesn't. Right. So
no.
You see what I mean? So you see a quarter of what's really happening, what's really going on to operate a multi-million-dollar gold mine.
Yes.
So just to put that out there, we're not bashing on any of them. They're amazing folks.
Yes, but that's why I started my YouTube, is because, to show mom and to show like what actually happens.
Right. The reality of it.
Yeah, I haven't done any this year because out in camp, you can either mine or you can film, right? You can't do both.
Right.
We took a bunch of videos and stuff, which I have to put together, but I want to show the reality, like what it costs for us to move equipment from one creek to the next. And this was only 35 kilometers, right?
Right.
Over mining roads. But we would get charged $3,000 to move.
It was an insane amount just to be able to move and start your next season. Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, I've read through a lot of the comments on YouTube, and a lot of people that reached out to me and said, hey, we need to get them on the podcast. Like, let's do this already. And I think a lot of it is everybody that has watched your videos that you do have on YouTube and the posts that you have on Facebook, I think everybody is extremely inspired by what you guys are doing for the reality sake of it, to let
Right.
folks really understand truly what it's all about and how it works, and the costs and the labor and the time
heartache.
spent.
Like,
Yeah.
lots
And the
of
heartache.
times,
Yeah.
lots of times I do just post the good stuff, right? Because
Right.
nobody wants to see heartache or
Yeah.
heartbreak.
Like
Oh, fuck me,
the
we're
woe
broke
is
down
me,
again. Like,
Right.
so most times I do just post good stuff, because there is a lot of good things too, but I do in videos, when I do YouTubes, it's like, here's another gong show, like, this is our life.
Right.
It's not, this isn't, oh, you wake up and, oh shit, we're gonna have 50 ounces in the
Right.
day. Like, that's not how it works.
Right.
well, we started with less than nothing. Also.
Oh God.
Like my first wife died of cancer, and then I married a psychopathic sociopath, like a narcissistic sociopath. And when
That's not me,
then I had
by
some,
the way.
I had some
Everybody, that's not Ali.
That's not
Okay,
me.
he loves her very much.
I wasn't in a good frame of mind. I was moving from creek to creek when I was in a charter plane, and she crashed, and I broke my neck and broke my back and smashed my brain up really bad
Holy
in 2002.
shit.
And so I become really emotional. That's why sometimes you see me start to tear up a little bit, because I'm emotional ever since the plane crash. I mean, my brain will never be the same. And then I had an accident where a girl fell off a motorcycle right in front of my one ton, and I ran her over and watched her bleed to death in the middle of the road. And
Holy shit.
I've got lots of stuff. I'm just giving you a couple things, but I'm a hurting unit inside. I just try not to show it most of the time. And
Alan, I think you got to understand that, with you coming onto this podcast and you being yourself, a lot of folks have already understood and appreciated who you are as a whole and who you are as a human. When we do these podcasts, we get down to the nitty gritty and get down on a human level. And, every single person that's watching this appreciates who you are as a whole, aside from everything that you do on that gold mine. So just understand that, everybody watching right now and everybody that's going to watch this in the future is going to appreciate you as a person yourself, aside from what you do on a daily basis on your gold mine.
He's a good boy.
So, I had a big mining operation, and I had a small partner, a guy that I felt sorry for. That's another story. But anyway, in this divorce, to get rid of her, she would not let go, and she just sued me and sued me and sued me and sued me until I was all but bankrupt. And then when you're going through that, people don't feel sorry for you or want to help you. You are like a wounded whale, and they all want to. They're just
put a stab in you.
Sharks.
Yeah.
They come and want to gather up as much stuff as they possibly can, and that's what happened. So Ali and I were wiped out in 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, wiped out literally. We were homeless. All we had were 2 half-ton pickups.
Yeah.
They were almost new.
A cargo trailer.
We had a 24-foot car trailer,
and we had
enclosed trailer.
A few really good friends that grub staked us, like my mom. And a friend of Alan's.
A couple of friends of mine, and
Michelle
a friend, Michelle Lobed. We got
He low bedded I got financing for one excavator. That was our entire equipment list.
So it was a big, really good late model excavator.
Yeah.
Because you cannot make any money with junk.
Right.
And Michelle low bedded it up to us and grub staked us.
Yeah, he said you can pay me when you can. And for that, it was $28,000 to low bed that excavator.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And another friend of ours financed an RV for us, so we had somewhere
to live, because we were going to live in our cargo trailer.
Another friend of us, Paul, lent us a little generator, a little baby diesel generator. Another friend of us grub staked us an ATV, and
so we could go prospecting.
We had our hand tools, and we had enough money for gas to get up there to the creek, and we leased a creek that I knew had some thawed ground on, because I went on Google Earth, and I anything that was available for lease or for sale, I went over all the satellite images until I found one that I thought I could make work, and I knew enough history about it, and we low bedded out there. and we had enough money for 2 or 3 tanks of diesel. That's
Yeah.
all we had. We had nothing. Like we didn't even have a test box.
No, we did not.
Holy
We found a mammoth tusk, which we sold when we were prospecting, and we sold it and bought the keen so we could test.
We went out there in the end of May.
Wow.
Pouring rain. The mosquito was so thick that you couldn't breathe with your mouth open because you'd suck them in.
Yeah.
You had to breathe through your nose. And we're shoveling. We did some testing where where the last miners, there's some guys up there that went broke because they go up there and go broke one year after another. So 3 outfits went broke on this ground. And we dug some test holes with the excavator.
Just stop. That's how much faith I had in Alan. 3 guys had literally gone broke in 2 years on this ground.
Holy shit.
Like, spent all their money, and Alan said to me, "Ali, I know it. I can find it." And I do. I call him the gold whisperer because he is. If it's there, he will find it.
He knows, yeah.
So we shoveled through 3 tests in the pouring rain, the mosquitoes. We shoveled through 3 yards and found nothing, like 1 or 2 fly shit. And so we went back to camp and got something to drink and just about crying.
I was crying
because
shit,
our backs are against the wall. Like we don't have anything, let alone any reserves. And we made ourselves a couple of sandwiches, and then
we sat and looked at each other and went, "What are we gonna do now?"
Well, that's just where those guys quit mining. And there was some from the satellite shots. I figured that the guys who had mined there before had missed a couple of spots, and we went and tested it, and sure enough, it was there. We got 3 or 4.
We found a nugget in the next test. Remember that? We found a nugget,
and so we were literally crying.
Yeah.
Like,
holy shit! You get to that point,
God,
we were driving 3 hours to town. Each way to get a tidy tank of fuel to put in
just to keep running.
To get 100 gallons of diesel, we had to 6-hour drive to buy 100 gallons of diesel. And by the way, that excavator holds 125 gallons, so that wouldn't even wasn't even a tank of fuel for
it. Wasn't even close. Yeah.
So then
we got some tax. We got a few dollars from a tax return.
GST return.
We sold every last thing we had. I sold my chainsaws, boats, lawnmowers,
everything.
Wood splitters. We sold everything, and everything we owned was in that trailer and those trucks. Like we didn't have a place to rent it. We did not have a home to go home.
No.
We had nothing. This was it. It was all or nothing. And so
holy shit.
Now
I give you guys fucking so much respect.
We had nothing.
We even
once we found the gold, we're like, okay, how are we gonna get it out of the ground? So then we went to a buddy whose name he won't let us say, but he sold us Gargamel, and he let us we had to put $1,000 down.
I think we gathered up, we had the $1,200, and they cost $800 to buy a Keen high binder.
Yeah.
And we had no choice. I could build one for $50, but we didn't have a welder, we didn't have any steel, we had nothing.
Right.
We went to town and paid $800 for a high banker. Yeah. And we had a 2-inch pump and some hose, and that's what we did our testing with. And then he grub staked us Gargamel, but then no one would haul it out for us. And another friend of ours finally
the
towed
fuel
it out
truck
to the
driver. He's like, I'll haul it out for you, and I'm like, oh fuck. Like honestly, nobody would take it out for us because it didn't have brakes on the trailer, like nothing.
So now we have no water hose, we have no water pump, and no generator.
Holy fuck!
So as we're gathering up whatever money
I know.
Whenever we had a spare dollar, we bought fuel for the excavator, and I stripped everything just with the excavator, and it was deep. It was 15 to 25 feet deep, and I bailed it and bailed it and bailed. It was a big hole. It's 41 feet to reach a 5-yard bucket. So,
then we had a wonderful neighbor, Art and Aldria. They lent us their sluice plant because they were going to town.
Well, no, that's not what happened originally. They didn't have a big excavator, and they needed a big bedrock drain dug. And so they asked me if I would dig this drain because they thought it would take them a month, and they thought it would take me like 4 days. I did it in a day. But anyway, I punched this drain up their valley for 1,000 feet for them and did a bunch of stripping for them. And in exchange, they lent us their little trommel and a
they're-
bulldozer and
yeah.
a little excavator and all the pumps and generators and everything, and one of their sons.
Fuck.
And
so we sluiced for 4 days and got enough money out to rent our own
Yeah, I think
pump
we
and
got-
generator
we
and
got-
buy Gargamel.
we had 30 or
Holy
35 ounces,
fuck.
and that's
Yeah.
how we bought a hose.
Yeah.
And then that's why she was going all the way to Whitehorse. So it's
Yeah.
12 hours each way
Whoa.
to drive to Whitehorse to rent a water pump, haul
Yeah.
and 12 hours back. Then she had to go back another 24-hour drive to rent a
The
generator
generator.
and bring it out. And then Michelle
Holy fuck.
Michelle come out to give us a hand because we were exhausted.
Yeah.
Another guy lent us a little welder and another generator for camp, but none of
Yeah.
it ran. So I had to fix it all. The carburetors were all gummed up and fuel
Oh,
pump,
yeah.
all this stuff. So I fixed it all so it all run so that and that's how we got through
That's
our first
how
year.
we
We
got through
literally
our first
started
year.
with less than nothing, and we took out. I don't
Holy
know.
fuck.
Yeah.
So
You guys have been through fucking hell and back
Yeah.
for this fucking passion of what we all enjoy. Holy shit.
And that's the year that I told Alan, oh, I'll do this for, 3 or 4 years maybe, but I'm not like this. I don't like this. I need to be around people.
You still pushed through that.
Well, after
Yeah.
3 months, I'm like, I don't want to do anything else. It's like, and it was the most trying time of my life, but I
Those
wouldn't change
fucking
it for any.
drives.
It
Those
wouldn't- I wouldn't change it.
drives.
I wouldn't change it for anything in the
So-
world.
So then at the end of the season, we took back the generator and the
Yeah.
water pump.
We did.
We bought enough money to buy new tires for our truck and make the payments on
We
the excavator over the winter.
financed a pump and a
And then
generator.
we went to a big auction in February at 20 below zero,
Yeah.
and we got a really good deal on a generator for the camp
And a pump.
and a big generator to run the trommel, and we got a really good water pump. And we bought some other miscellaneous. A welder. We got another guy grub staked us, her ex.
My ex-husband
Sold us a
grub staked us for a welder.
We got a wicked
Yeah.
big, almost brand
Wow.
new Miller 500 amp welder with
Yeah.
an air pack on it. So we had a big
Wow.
compressor,
And we bought a dump truck.
and we bought a dump truck. We bought a 40-ton articulated Volvo dump truck, and
I financed it all. Like it wasn't. We didn't have money to pay for
If
it.
if that isn't what the definition of hustle is, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah.
That is full blown struggle, bustle, and then hustle to get where you guys are. That is fucking so insanely crazy.
But if it wasn't,
Holy shit.
if it wasn't for those people helping us, we never would have
Oh,
pulled it
no.
off.
no, we didn't.
Right.
We just didn't have the stroke.
Every single one of those people believed in what you guys believed in, and that's where you guys are at today, is those people who believed in you guys. That is
Yeah.
insanely. You guys need to do much more than what you're doing right now, and I mean that by like YouTube videos, educational videos, a fucking book. I mean, you guys, I'm serious. Like, you guys have such an amazing, genuine potential to let everybody else know in this community what you guys have been through versus where you guys are at today, and the experiences you went through, because as the old timers were, you guys are going through your own experiences
Yeah.
that nobody really truly understands. It's I'm sure every single fucking person watching this right now is jaw dropped
Well,
by
we
the
ha-
shit.
and nobody knew this, right? Like, except for the people that were helping us. They just
Right.
see us as, oh, they're Alan and Ali. They're fine.
Right.
They're doing their thing. But nobody really knows our story.
Understand the background
When we
and the
first got out on the
beginning.
creek, we had this little Chinese generator that a friend lent
Oh,
to
God.
us. It was really small, and we ran the trailer on 12 volt, and we had
Yeah.
the pickup hooked to the front of it, so the pickup battery and the trailer battery. And then every morning we'd fire up the pickup to charge the two batteries. This little generator, it only had 1,500 watts. It had enough power to run, so we could make Allison a coffee in the morning. And it only lasted 3 days, and it exploded. Couldn't even make
Oh shit! You guys got up first thing in the morning, put your big ass coats on, got out there, fucking got the generator going just for a fucking cup of coffee of all fucking things in this world. A cup of coffee. You guys can now look back at all these situations in your life and just laugh and appreciate and absolutely love all the crazy shit.
We do look back and go, can you believe we made it through that? Like,
yeah.
honestly,
Yeah, that exactly. You guys are a fucking inspiration. And you know, I give you guys props for just having that mindset of, okay, what are we doing tomorrow? And just keep going and year after year just getting it done and enjoying what you guys do. But you have to understand, folks like me have to fucking read a book about your guys' experiences, have to watch a video. Like, I'm fucking hooked. Like, I'll buy that shit right now. Like, I'm extremely fucking hooked. Like, the shit that you guys went through, my goodness, I can only imagine on a perfect day going through. Like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, it was pretty
wow.
insane. It was pretty insane for sure.
That's why we have pictures of that year.
Yeah.
And then we're out sluicing at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Or something. Like our days started at 6, and we only had one machine, right? So we just took turns all day. So I would go out in the morning, bale the tails, bale the pay dirt, and get everything ready. And she'd come out and she'd sluice for a ways, and I'd go and have a break, and then I'd go and give her a break, and she'd come back, and we'd just keep going like that.
Wow. I'd say you guys need those specific photos on your fucking wall in your house. So anytime one of you guys complain, you just fucking point to a photo and you say, you know what? Look at that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just insane. And that plays back to the topic. It's like, you know, you see all of these guys going out there and doing these things with heavy equipment, but the backstory is where the real genuine value of a human to human really is that background that they've pushed and persevered so hard to get to that point where they're at with their YouTube videos or their TV broadcast or this, that, and the other. You know, their whole experience before all of that is where it really brings the genuine, heartfelt, human-to-human feeling of all the shit you guys had to really truthfully deal with before you got to the exciting spot where you're at now.
Well, and then that was the thing, because 2016, that was that year with all this gong show. And then 2017, Alan, the Gold Whisperer, found ground. That was our best year ever. Right. They had built their road. The people that were there before us had built their road over top of the best pay dirt that ever was on that creek. Like, we were getting 4 ounces an hour that year. That's why we could buy the D10.
Right.
So, but yeah, so the next year was amazing. The year after that, not so hot. The year after that, we pretty much went bankrupt.
Right.
Like, we had to sell our house, but to keep the business going. And
you guys fucking persevered.
Yeah.
You guys sat down, probably on the same fucking couch you're sitting on, and decided, honey, we got to sell the fucking house to keep the business afloat. Let's fucking do this.
Well,
you guys did it.
You know, like, what's a house going to bring you?
Right.
Nothing. But if you sell that, put it back into business, you can buy another fucking house.
Yeah,
what does it bring you?
We bought it in the fall of 2017, then sold it in the spring of 2019.
2020.
Put it back in.
But that's the thing, you know, your guys' trials and tribulations have kept you guys with such an amazing feeling on the inside of all things in this world that you can attribute to, that you can purchase, that you can sell, that you can cry about, laugh about. You know, the one main thing that you guys have that you guys can keep until you pass away is that feeling that you get when you're out there and you're enjoying truly what you guys freaking do. I mean, that feeling alone pays for every single hardship and every single thing that you guys ever had to deal with. It's that feeling you get. You know, I mean, Alan's probably like, well, I mean.
No, I love it. I love driving to work. So
Right.
you go up the road in the morning and there's all these beautiful birch trees, and you're driving through a park. It's spectacular. And I love you sitting up in the machine and looking out over the hills and the beautiful sunrises, sunsets, all of it. I love every minute of it. I love heavy equipment. My dad ran heavy equipment before I was born. He taught me how to run a bulldozer when I was 5 years old. So I've been running bulldozers since 1966.
And that's the thing. You love it. You enjoy it. You appreciate what nature has to offer on a daily basis. You're out there. You're
bears are coming into my beer tent.
Yeah.
Aside from beers. See, I don't know how I have that on my mind. But you got bears running in the tent. You got Alan beating the shit out of a bear with a stock. You got all that shit going on. But you appreciate it and you love it and you enjoy it and you get out there, you put your fucking boots on and you continue to do it day in and day out.
Have it any other way. Like right now, we've only been out of camp for a month. And I'm like, fuck, where is spring? Like, I want to go. I want to go back. Like,
Alan, let's fucking get out there already. What are you doing? No, that's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
By February, you just
we're just vibrating.
Get at it.
That feeling that I was talking about, that special feeling that you get, that passion, that endurance, the motivation. There's so many different aspects that play into that.
We need money.
Feeling you get.
By February, we need money.
Yeah. Truthfully, in all honesty, it boils down to money. But what backs that, hey, I need money, is that feeling you get, that drive to get back out to that claim, to get back out to that land, to get into that freaking excavator, to get into that dump truck and get the shit going. It's that feeling behind it. Most people, they're driven off of that feeling, that rush they get, that excitement, and you guys.
Gold is very sneaky.
Yeah.
And I thrive on trying to outsmart the gold.
Yeah.
I look at the satellite pictures and the pictures from overhead taken out of airplanes, and I read the valley, and then I figure out the best places where the gold should be based on, doing this for 30 years. And then I get down there and I dig. I'm right more often than I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's stuff.
Sometimes you're really wrong.
Sometimes you're really wrong.
She decided to put that out there, Alan.
She can't
what do you mean?
Well, there's a bedrock.
Here we go.
He's like, oh, this is gonna be 5 ounces an hour, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm tracking it down there, sluicing, and look at the box and go, fuck me. Wrong. I can't even buy a case of beer with this.
Yeah, we're scooting along and the gold's all on this side of the house. And you hit a bedrock reef. I'm digging up Pater and there's a bedrock reef.
Oh fuck, here we go. Here we go. And Allie's walking over to your fucking excavator.
Over to the other side. And it's like, you son of a bitch.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh shit.
Keep digging.
No. Keep digging.
Keep fucking digging. No, I appreciate you guys jumping on the podcast quite a bit.
Well, thank you for having us. This was fun.
Yeah. Most definitely. Like I said, we try to keep this shit down to earth. We like to enjoy the company that we have on the podcast. We don't fucking sugarcoat anything. We don't, we don't
either.
We don't do that shit. We like to keep it down to earth where everybody watching is feeling like they're in the same room enjoying what's going on the podcast. And that's how we like to have it. But with that being said, if you guys want to help me, we have the Swagger Saturday giveaway real quick. Yes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 folks. I'm going to ask you guys 1 through 7 to pick a number through 1 and 7.
What number do you like?
40.
Don't say it out loud. Fuck.
She asked the question.
Number 4 is not the winner, so hold on, guys.
I got another one. I won't say it.
Okay, good. Fuck, Alan, come on,
Right?
He
man.
asked me what number do
Oh,
you
You're
like?
supposed
shit.
to whisper it.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's stunned. I think he's had too much wine
Yeah, could
already.
be. Never get invited to another podcast.
Like my wife says, you can never have enough wine. So
Right.
we'll leave it at that. I love you, babe. So with that being said, out of 1 through 7, I have names written down right here. 1 through 7, pick a number, and then that way I can announce the winners on the podcast. 1 through 7. Drum roll. Let's
Sit.
hear it.
Yeah. Sit.
Alan's like, I
He's
just
scared.
messed up.
He's scared now.
4 it is.
4 it is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Christy Parham, you just won the
Yay.
Swagger Saturday Pater bag.
Yay.
Christy Parham. Woohoo! Send me your address. That way I can get it sent
Congrats,
to you.
Christy.
That way I can get it sent to you. Hey, I hope to God that you guys jump on another podcast. This was a blast.
I would love to. This was fun. Do you want to do another one?
Okay.
Okay.
Gather up the questions.
Alan says
Yeah.
this all the time. Every time we say, "Do you want to do
Awesome.
this?" He's like, "Okay."
Awesome. He's like, okay, we'll see. We'll see Jaren's ugly mug once again. No. No,
Put together a big list of questions, and I'll have.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you very much. It's
Most definitely. No, we will have a ton more questions. All of these questions that I ended up coming up with, as well as the users, and the PB family, everybody that jumped on any of the broadcasts that I distributed out this evening. All these questions are from the heart. I mean, man, we want to know how you guys are doing, how you guys have been, where you started from. We don't want to ask the questions like, oh, well, how do you do a gold mine? And, we don't.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of bullshit. We want to make sure that we get down to human level with the podcast. So like I said, I appreciate you guys. Alan, Allie, you guys got freaking balls of steel. And and I give you guys my uttermost respect for what you guys do, and I hope that you guys put out more YouTube videos, because I watch that shit like a hawk.
Aw,
On my off time, in the winter time, I'm a sissy. I'm not gonna lie. I sit and I become a freaking a clam inside of a clam. I don't go anywhere. I hate the winter time. I hate the cold. I'm a summer baby. So
yeah.
I hope that you guys continue what you do with the YouTube channel and the
We
Facebook
will.
posts. Just keep that up. Everybody's following you guys and support the hell out of you guys. So
Thank you so much.
keep up the positivity. Keep up the amazing stuff that you guys do. And I'll get a hold of you guys soon. I pray that you guys
sounds
jump
awesome.
on a podcast again.
Yeah,
I really do.
We would love to. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Good deal. Well, you guys have a good evening. I'm going to go get myself some dinner, and I'm sure you guys will too.
Yeah, you betcha. Thanks.
Good
All
night.
right. All right.